Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
307 days have passed since Hankinson beat Maple River in the opening round of the North Dakota 9-man playoffs. Now in 2025, with football realignment, the Pirates and Raiders meet once again here in Hope, but this time as region foes. A pleasant, good, blustery Friday evening to you and a season opener as well. I'm Chase Miller, alongside sideline color commentator Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes is our on-site producer. This is our Irie Insurance pregame show as we inch closer to the opening kickoff. Hankinson is coming off a 7-3 season and second-round playoff appearance from a season ago. The Pirates return a solid core with Coach Moneylaws, and it starts with senior quarterback Rayshawn Earl, who last year in the playoff game against Maple River finished with 318 total yards and 6 touchdowns. Hankinson returned 7 starters on offense and 6 defensively from a season ago. For Maple River, new direction of first-year head coach Sean Belke after taking over for Larry Fontaine, who retired from teaching and coaching high school football as the main head coach here over the spring. Returning as a good nucleus with varsity experience with Preston Dowes and Brendan Anderson in the backfield alongside. We're going to see and hear a little bit more of Owen Tickey, Gabe Burnson, and Jonah Thompson here for the Raiders, who finished 4-5 a season ago. Hoots, let's start with Maple River with some new faces in some different places this year, especially after not having the University of Sioux Falls product and T. Silling graduating. Same thing with their speedster and Carter Bosch, really good lineman and Dylan Zahn. So let's start at the quarterback spot with McCoy Bierke here. What do you want to see from him in game number 1 as a starter for the Raiders, Hoots?
I think poise when the pocket breaks down, and it inevitably will. One of the many strengths of Hankinson is their defensive line. They got a ton of pressure on the Raiders last year, and they bring a lot of those guys back. The pocket's going to break down. Is he going to make good decisions when that happens, whether it's a tuck and run or a throw against man-to-man coverage on the outside? He's going to have to handle pressure all night long.
And similar with an Ian Lark now at tight end and underclassman, but Kyle Palmer will be on the line. So seeing some new faces and starting roles here. Hoots, what's just game number 1 for the likes of Ian and Kyle, so to speak, here later tonight?
Yeah, I think handling the nerves is going to be something a lot. You know, they had a lot of reps from the sideline last year. You know, we had a lot of offensive linemen that took off and went on to better things in college, and so it's going to be a lot of mental reps they got last year turning into physical reps this year, and just handling the nerves and seeing someone wearing a different color jersey and maybe packing a couple extra pounds than who they faced in practice.
Well, it goes to Hankinson. There's obviously a lot of nice pieces around the quarterback and Earl with Parker Falk, Cade Hintz, Mason Malk. But I guess what impressed me most last season about Earl on this very field in the playoffs, Hoots, and what do you expect now going from a junior to senior season here for Rayshawn Earl?
You know, when you hear the name Rayshawn Earl, you just think of his extreme athleticism. But some of the passes he made last year over the top in big-time situations, you know, it was a really close game. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was at half. But in that second half, I don't think you would chart any negative plays for him in that entire second half. They went up-tempo, which, you know, if it worked last year, you could see maybe the possibility they come back and run a little up-tempo stuff tonight to start off this season. You know, his ability to layer throws, you know, whether it's the quick out that he's got to put on the money, you know, and show off the laser, or, you know, layer one down the field over the top of a safety to a streaking, you know, whether it's an end or an outside receiver, he's got the full package. You wonder how often or how many steps he takes in his drop back before he just decides to take off and take advantage of this giant field with only 18 guys on it.
Last thing before we let you go here, Hoots, and get to our coaches conversation, the expectations. A little different this year for 9-man football, not 8 regions. There's 4 regions, each region made up of 10 teams. No varsity for Tri-State this year, so now just 9 here in Region 1. Every game that you play matters to make the postseason. Is it simply playoff or bust when you're looking at a Pirate point of view here, Hoots, just because they have made the postseason the last 2 years and coming off a playoff win from a season ago here in Hope?
Yeah, I think if you talk to anybody that really follows this, you know, area of football and 9-man, if you talk to them, you probably have Hankinson in the top 4, if not the top 2 in this region. So anything, you know, less than probably even hosting a playoff game this fall. It might be considered a disappointment with how many guys they got, but not to pack any extra pressure on. Teams you have high expectations and you have one injury. You're one injury away from being a team that's maybe not competing terribly well. So you'd like to say yes, playoffs or bust, but injuries do happen.
And with Maple River again, new head coach, a lot of different. Maybe some guys that are back, but maybe in different places, on the football field here. What's the expectations when it comes out to a Coach Sean Belke here, not just in game number 1, but as the season progresses?
I think there's so many question marks for this team right now, starting at the quarterback position. You just can they answer a couple of those questions tonight? They're going to probably throw a bunch of different stuff at the wall and just see what sticks. And hopefully that stuff that sticks is something that they can, kind of build their identity around here in the first year under Coach Belke.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots. Still to come on our Irie Insurance pregame show. We'll keep you apprised of games going on across the region. Take a look at the first top 5 poll of the season. When we return, it's our coaches conversation. First up, Coach Moneylaws for Hankinson. It's the Pirates and the Raiders in the 2025 season opener for Friday Night Lights on yourlivevent.com.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
As we continue on our Irie Insurance pregame show here today, time to get to our coaches conversation. And as always, joining us here from the Hankinson Pirates perspective is their head coach. That's Jason Moneylaws in the season opener here for Hankinson and both Maple River as well. Something a little bit different from the last time they were up here is a postseason game against a non-region team. Now all of a sudden it goes back to a region opponent here. Jason, so let's just start there. Your thoughts on, going from 8 regions to 4 regions, 10 teams, in a region, top 4 make the postseason, 1 less playoff round. Just your thoughts right there here on the 9-man format this year.
Well, let's get this on the record. What we did last year was stupid. Period. And you talk to the coaches, they'll tell you the same thing. Playing within your own region for a playoff game is you do that in basketball, sort of speak in basketball, right? Kind of with your district and whatnot. You play each other, and then you play your tournament and so forth. Or you're in the football's a different game, and for better or worse, activity screwed that up. And so no, what we have now is good. The one thing that it doesn't bother me, but I guess it would be a worry, is one of these teams that want to opt down, and someone moves up or something like that can still go on. I'm fine with teams moving up, but I really hate it when they move down. And I know we're never going to stop that. They're going to always do that because they said 40 is the limit on 9-man, and I remember talking to different coaches about it and said, well, we'll see about that. And they stuck to it, which is good. And of course, then if you get, say, one team region has 9, which is going to be us this year, with the tri-state folding, we're going to have that bye, and unfortunately that happened. But I guess you could say, well, rather than force someone down that wants to opt down out 11-man. Then just build a buy into it. Don't just, it'd be so we can have even regions to bring someone down that's going to have a very good team of 11-man, and then now they're going to be down with us, along that line.
As you take a look at Maple River here, you and I were kind of joking prior to the interview, saying it's going to be a little different for yourself looking across the field and not seeing Larry Fontaine, his days at Finley, Sharon Hope Page, and he's been the head coach for now 4 years, with Maple River, with that co-op, seeing it make the postseason a couple times as well. So with Sean Belke being there, he's been an assistant under Larry. as a coach with no film with a quote unquote new coach across from you, how difficult is that, for a week one matchup here, Money?
Oh, you know what? I think a lot of people, maybe I'm going to, step on my tongue here, but I look forward to the first game of the season because you're not spending a week scouting, you're not watching film, you're not doing, well, we got to watch this guy. It's pure football. There's obviously with returning coaches, you have an idea what the offenses and defenses are going to do, but you're plugging kids in for graduation and whatnot. Now with Belkey taking over, well, here we got a whole new offense. Yeah. I'm sure he's going to change some things up, and maybe he'll probably spread some things out, throw the ball around a little bit more and stuff because they're going to be a little bit smaller team this year than they were last year. So to me, if in a perfect world, my perfect football world, I would not exchange film. I would not have huddle. I would just prep with what we do and take on the team and see what happens. That's how I would like to have it. But I know that's not what I don't know that's not what it's going to be. I mean, we're going to have film and all that other stuff, but that's my perception of what the first week is like. It's exciting because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to see.
As you take a look at your squad here, Money, from a team that made the postseason last year, a team that had 7 wins, your only losses were to a team that finished state runner-up in Wymer Lidgerwood, who made a good run in the postseason as well. You make that second round of the postseason. So what's back for folks that maybe haven't gone into Hankinson's chapter or their book, so to speak, who are going to be some familiar faces coming back from the Pirates' perspective this fall?
We have several kids, obviously, back. We had 4 kids in our senior group that graduated. So we do have a lot of experience coming back with these kids. With Ray Earl and Gunnar Ilg, Mason Malk, Parker Falk, Cade Hentz, Jax Hernandez. I mean, these guys all started one way or another, or both ways at some point during this season, last season. I mean, and so we are very heavily looking to those guys. We're leaning on their shoulders. And when we started camp, it was good. We always go to team camp at Valley, and this year, with having a new offense coordinator, that time at Valley really springed us right into fall camp when it started here. And it's just been rolling smoothly since. I mean, there's been some hiccups here and there, and it's more of the verbiage that Hayden's using versus what say Zach was using, or when I was calling plays, what I would use. And it's more getting used to that. It's basically the same stuff, but just different verbiage. Because I told him, I said, Hayden, this is what I want out of you. I want you to have like 3 or 4 sets, 3 preferably, something like that, where we can intermingle everything with the same verbiage out of these different formations. We'll just run the same stuff, and it's worked out. He's a brilliant offensive mind. And 4 years, he didn't play his senior year at Moorhead, but because he came down here to work. But he started as a freshman at Moorhead State, so he's got a lot of knowledge, and he's just kind of building off of that.
From a game one perspective, Money, whether it's a region game, non-region game, just week one as a coach, what do you want to see from your team for 4 quarters of football as you go into what the rest of the season will be with Labor Day weekend, trying to make a good run in September and kind of see where the chips are, once you get to the end of the year here?
Well, to me, on Friday here is the mental mistakes. There's going to be mistakes. And I think every coach first game probably talks to their kids about this at some point, or to some emphasis of, we got to control what we can control, and we cannot be making these mental mistakes. The snap count is going to be very important. We don't want to mess that up all the time. Your actual, okay, in this formation, I need to do this. That whole prep part, because these guys are going to be nervous. I mean, they're gonna be jitty and all that other stuff, and be able to just diffuse themselves and absorb what we've talked about for the last, how many days now, and so forth of practice, and then just go out in that field and play the game without those penalties and those offsides and all those other things that can hurt you.
Hey, Money, as always, thank you so much for your time and best of luck here throughout the rest of the season, but tonight against the Raiders as well.
Yeah, appreciate it, and looking forward to see you.
And again, Jason Moneylaws, head coach for Hankinson, will continue after this on our Irie Insurance pregame show.
Oh, jeez. That's a lot of water.
No, 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 no! Jeez Louise!
This system is packing 70-mile-per-hour winds, golf ball size hail, and a fast drop in temperature.
Oh, jeez.
Dave and Cheryl's kitchen started on fire.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez, let's take a look.
Oh, geez, moments happen. Be ready with Irie Insurance.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
Joining us now, part of our coaches conversation is Sean Belke, the newly inserted first-year head football coach here for the Maple River Raiders. Our pregame conversation here on our Irie Insurance pregame show. As always, as we get to this point of the year, Sean, I like to chat with coaches just about game number one, whether it's a region counter or a non-region counter. You get a couple weeks of football. You did all this stuff in the summer. You get to see, so to speak, what you have in the tool chest with all the guys. So biggest thing is what that you want to see from the guys after 4 quarters of football going into the rest of the season here in 9-man this season.
Right. I like that we're getting such a good test right away with Hankinson, right? Everybody knows, they're one of the top picks in our region, right? They got great talent, stud quarterback. Can we, contain that? How are our guys going to respond to, because they're going to give us adversity, right? They're going to give us a challenge. They're, coached up great. How are we going to respond to that? Right. I expect a great game. Can our guys play for 4 quarters? That's something we've really tried to preach throughout the last 2-3 weeks here of football is, 9 to the ball every time, right? 4 quarters, right? Can we compete throughout a full football game? So if we can come out the other end of that game, not just playing 3 quarters or 3.5 quarters, but playing 4 full quarters, that's something we can build on going forward, right? We have film, we know what to work on, but if we can end that game saying, we played 4 quarters of good football, I think we'll be pretty happy with where we're at.
Whether it was 11-man or 9-man, I'm not sure much people are going to stop Rayshon Earl. So I guess the question is, how do you try to contain him knowing he's a quarterback? He's going to have his hands on the football offensively all the time. Obviously, in recent years, he's played free safety over the top a little bit on defense. But when you put Rayshon on tape or try to have an athlete that's across the line of scrimmage for you that you got to try to stop here, Sean, there's obviously a multitude of other weapons that they have, but it really starts with Rayshon and what he can do through the air, on the ground. So how do you try to minimize, I guess is the question, the big play capability of a quarterback like Rayshon Earl?
Right. I mean, yeah, you said it best, right? The game kind of runs through him, right? He's got the ball in his hands every single play. Coach Money says he's the most talented kid he's ever coached, and he's got an NFL starter. So when he's saying stuff like that, it's you got to take it. We've seen him for a couple of years, and yeah, like you said, you're not going to stop him, but how do you contain him, right? And really, things we've been really harping on is our over the top pass coverage. Last year he burned us a couple times because he can escape the pocket, but the thing with Rayshon is a lot of high school quarterbacks, they come out of the pocket and they're looking around, right? Their eyes are to the sideline and they're tucking and running. He does an excellent job keeping his eyes down the field, right? And looking, waiting for a guy to come open. So that's, we got to cover the whole play, right? We can't cover for, 5 seconds, then let him go, right? We got to cover the whole play. And then on top of that, right, that D-line's got to get there, whether we're 3 down or 5 down, right? We got to get pressure on him, and just get there. And then if he does get out of the pocket, right, we got to fill, right? Last time he burned us a couple times on that backside, right? Gets out of the pocket. See you later. One cut and you're gone in 9-man football. So just those little things, right? And that's one of the things, it's kind of nice having a challenge like this week 1 because we know what we need to work on for, the 3 weeks leading up to the game. So we've worked on all that stuff and hopefully the guys are ready for it.
Let's talk about some of your players here. First things first, let's go over Owen Tickey, someone who even as an underclassman, as a freshman, got to see the lights, Friday Night Lights. Now it's continued to grow physically, in that program as well. So what do you want to see from Owen coming up here in the fall?
Yeah, Owen, he's another guy, just a great leader for us. Started since he was a freshman, and just grows every year. Strong kid, aggressive, fast for his size. And we just want to see continued growth from him. He had a great season last year. Honorable mention for all region last year. We just want to see him continue. We know how good he can be, on the D line and on the O line. Just continuing to build and kind of show that leadership qualities that he's going to be a captain for us. He's been a lot more vocal this year. We're excited to see that, right? We're excited to see that growth from guys like Owen. So just going out and continue to do, build on what he did last year, right? Because last year, we saw a lot of great stuff from him, but we've seen these first 3 weeks of practice at VCSU camp this summer, just the kind of player he can be. He can wreak some havoc. So we're really excited for him.
When it comes to Brennan Anderson, someone who had an opportunity to get his hands on the football in the backfield last season for the Raiders, what is his role going to be this coming fall?
Yeah, Brennan would be kind of like our, if Preston Dowes is, kind of our speed back, Brennan would be, kind of our power back, right? He's a great downhill runner. He didn't run the ball a ton last year. I think he probably had, 30 carries last year at fullback. I know we're hoping to up that maybe a little bit next year, spread the ball around a little bit more. But really, Brennan, on the defensive side of the ball is kind of where he made a name for himself last year. He led us in tackles, had a few interceptions, few forced fumbles, played that middle backer for us. We might move him around a little bit this year, depending on what we need, but, he's a great athlete, another, good leader for us. So we're excited to see, what he can do this year with the ball in his hands.
Final thing for me, Sean, you've been with the program for the last couple of years, but what's the excitement level in fall camp going into game number 1 now as a head coach compared to being assistant coach, just from your perspective here?
I think energy is high, right? He came in, like the guys know me. It's not my first year in the program, so we've kind of built that relationship. So to come in, practice number 1 a few weeks ago, and let them know the expectations again, and be able to hit the ground running. Get excitement up. That's just been great. Again, we got a great group of seniors. We got 5 seniors, even the underclassmen. Some of them have stepped up to be great leaders. So I feel like there's just a lot of positive energy in our program this year. So I'm excited to see where that can take us.
Hey, Sean, as always, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here against Hankinson tonight.
Thanks, Chase.
Sean Belke with us here on our Irie Insurance pregame show. We'll continue with more ahead after next, as we'll get a quick look at the latest top 5 poll in the state of North Dakota. The Maple Valley School District is engaging students in a world-class education, preparing them for lifelong success. Maple Valley serves the surrounding communities of Buffalo, Fingal, Oriska, and Tower City with a great student-to-teacher ratio per class. For more information, go online to myraiders.org. That's myraiders.org. The Maple Valley School District wishes the best to the Raiders coaches and athletes this season. Go Raiders!
We always say we're a one-stop shop. North Star Ag is a full-service shoreline machinery dealership. So we have the 3 departments: sales, service, parts, fully staffed, have full inventory of all the parts and whole goods needed. We really value the service and the support that any traditional dealership would give you, but we specialize in shorelines. You can give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
As we continue on our pregame show here today, brought to you in part by Irie Insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com that's IrieINS.com to get a free quote started today and get the insurance protection you want with the customer service that you deserve. They cover it all from home, auto, crop, commercial, and benefits insurance. That again is IrieINS.com to get a free quote started today. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, Joey Hughes with you here for our 3-man weave. Hoots, what's it like down there with the field conditions? Obviously, some wind gusts throughout the majority of the day, maybe lightening up just a little bit from about a half hour ago, but what's the playing surface and conditions here for our season opener?
The field is in phenomenal shape. It's probably as green as it could possibly be. We've gotten a lot of rain here recently, so everything's feeling good. I'm glad I ate that extra slice of pizza at lunch, though, to anchor me down here. It is gusty. There are a couple there. People are getting moved over here. So the ball is not exactly piercing through the wind in warm-ups, but it should be a fun one. I would assume it's going to die down here at least by halftime. So enjoy the bugless evening, hopefully.
The top 5 poll here, the number 1 and 2 teams, the teams that made the Dakota Bowl last year. Lemoore Litchfield Marion, last year's runner-up, is number 1. New Rockford Cheyenne Mannock is number 2. North Border 3 with Linton HMB 4, and Mulhall Lansford Sherwood at number 5. Receiving votes of Grant County Flasher, Hankinson, and West Hope Newburgh Glenburn. That is your top 5 poll, and that is our Irie Insurance pregame show. We come back after this. We'll get you ready for the starting lineups and the opening kick here today in our first game of the 2025 season. It's the Hankinson Pirates and the Maple River Raiders, and we'll continue with more after this in Hope on your LiveVent.com.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Visit the new Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro. They have everything you need. Explore our large selection of quality hardware and building materials, perfect for every project. Inside, you'll find Valspar paint to brighten your home, top-of-the-line Milwaukee and DeWalt tools for every job, plus all the essentials for a successful harvest. Flashlights, glass cleaner, paper towels, scrapers, grain shovels, and more. Make your next stop Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro.
That again does it for our Irie Insurance pregame show. I'd like to thank our sponsors here as well, with Dakota Heritage Bank providing our pregame interview conversations with both head coaches, sharing their heritage and their future with locations in North Dakota and Minnesota. Go to dhb.bank. Hankinson Pirates won the toss, elected to defer, so we will see them defensively to see things off here against Maple River, who will be starting on the offensive side of the football for the first time here this season. Taking a look at the starting lineups here for Maple River on the offense and defensive side, and Hankinson will start with Hankinson first. Hankinson will run with 3 down linemen with Gunnar Ilg, Mason Melk, and Trevor Furch here for the defensive line spot. Linebackers of Tyson Falk and Cade Hentz. Then you're going to have defensive backs of Jax Hernandez, Rayshon Earl, Parker Falk, and Alex Jean here for the Hankinson Pirates. Head coach is Jason Moneylaws here for Hankinson, coming off a 7-3 season last year, making it to the second round of the 9-man football playoffs, averaging 36 points per game defensively, giving up 28. As we turn our attention now to the Maple River Raiders, as Raiders will be in their all-blue uniform attire here today for the pants and the jerseys with the white numerals here in this one. Maple River will go like this. Starting at a guard will be Owen Tickey with Gabe Burnson as well. The center of Kyle Palmer here for the Maple River Raiders. Tight ends of Jonah Thompson and Ian Lark. Wide receiver of Trent Warren, with a fullback of Brennan Anderson, Preston Dowes at tailback, and McCoy Bierke here going to be the quarterback. The Raiders coming off a 4-5 season from a year ago. First-year head coach is Sean Belke, taking over for Larry Fontaine. Sean, though, has been with this program throughout its inception. of the co-op. Maple River 15-13 overall in 3 years of the co-op, with 2 playoff appearances and 1 postseason win. Hoots, quickly, your keys to the game here from both the Raider and Hankinson perspective as we inch closer to the opening kickoff.
I think the number one key for the Raider defense is just containing number 2 as best you possibly can. It's going to be tough, but keep him inside the pocket, make him make decisions from inside the pocket, and keep him in front of you at all times. And for the Pirates, I think, it's kind of, you could go the other way, but I think their offensive line has an opportunity tonight to potentially dominate this game. Their size up front is going to be far superior to the size up front for the Raiders. If they choose to just chew the clock and minimize the amount of plays in the first week of the year, they certainly could probably do that. So I think time of possession could be a really big key for the Raiders as well.
That again is Nathan Hoots. We'll take a quick break. Kickoff is next here in Hope.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
As we come back here, as we get the game ball and getting ready to put this one on the 40-yard line, going from right to left or from the east to the west here, putting this ball on the tee here for Hankinson will be number 10, Mr. Cade Hentz, the junior. While back here for the Maple River Raiders, one of them is Trent Warren alongside with Preston Dowse. As it's going to get a little bit chillier, temperatures in the 70s, wind going down just a little bit, but still going to be more of a crosswind from the northwest here this evening in Hope. But all things considered, can't complain for the type of day we have here for our opening game. The opening kick here at 7:02, a right-footed end-over-end kick by Hintz that goes to about the 12-yard line, picked up by Dowse. Dowse looking for a crease, and he's going to get wrapped up in the open field. Rayshawn Earl comes in and makes the tackle on the way. Check that. That'll be Tyson Falk. Falk will come in on the tackle, and it'll be 1st and 10 roughly at about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, with the crosswind that we currently have, special teams could be a concern all night. Fielding punts, as the ref just tried to look into the sun to try to catch a ball. Maybe the sun will play a factor here until it goes underneath the school.
As the Raiders will see this one, 1st and 10. Ball will be spotted at the far hash as Hankinson pretty much playing everybody about 8 yards away from the line with this I formation. Handoff, little stretch play that's going to get met to the far side. Jax Hernandez was part of the tackling party there here for the Hankinson Pirates. From the Maple River Raiders, Preston Dow was able to get about 2 yards.
There's a gap there initially, right off the line of scrimmage that they're going to have to take advantage of, but filled very, very quickly by an athletic linebacking core from the Pirates.
I think the one thing here for Hankinson is they got speed. They got guys at every level that can move laterally, can get up and down the field as well. So how does Maple River, especially with Sean Belke, what are some new looks from what Coach Fontaine has done over the last couple of years? This one just a little bit of a broken play, and McCoy Bierk is going to be wrapped up in the backfield for a tackle for a loss eventually. Coming in is Cade Hentz, and he was a tackling machine last season for the Pirates.
Potential little bit of miscommunication, I believe, there. The snap may have been a little rushed. The cadence might have been a little off, but 3rd and long here with the wind situation could make a pass significantly more difficult.
On our City of Hope scoreboard, 60 seconds in, as we'll have our first 3rd down of the football season here for Maple River on the offensive side. Twins to the near sideline, 1 to the left, and they pistol. Bierk looking to get the ball out quickly, and this will be incomplete as they were looking to the boundary for Preston Dowse. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Now at 4th and 10, and a 3 and out here for the Raiders offense.
You could tell that was a rushed first pass attempt, but plenty of time for him to get settled in. McCoy's got good arm talent, good athlete. Just going to have to get comfortable here against a defense that – do you see any scrawny kids out there for the Pirates? I don't know if you have a better view up top.
No, they look pretty well like they've been in the weight room.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. They got some serious strength out here.
Dowse will punt this one away here for the Raiders. It was Rayshawn Earl at midfield. Here's the right-footed kick, and this one's going to be off the side of the foot. Will bounce at about the 40 and be taken at the 41-yard line for about 18 yards or so on the punt. And that'll be a great starting field position here for the Pirates.
I think this might have been one of my bigger question marks coming into the year. What kind of defense here are the Raiders going to play? New defensive play caller, a lot different personnel. A lot of the linemen graduated from last year's team. I see a safety, which is something that's not exactly something a team in blues used to seeing.
We'll get to Hankinson's starting lineup here in a moment. The same with Maple River defensively. Talking with Coach Moneylaws, he's talking about an up-tempo type of squad here this year for Maple River. In the pistol, Rayshawn Earl hands this one off to Hernandez and a tackle for a loss. Really nice looking play there by Owen Tickey.
Owen Tickey shot that gap extremely fast. It wasn't a very fast developing run play by the Pirates. I think they were kind of a bit of a read and maybe a zone blocking scheme up front, but he shot a gap and made a good play in the backfield.
Mason Malk at center with guards of Griffin Bull and Trevor Furch. Tight end of Gunnar Illick here for Hankinson alongside with Tyson Falk. We'll get to the rest here in a moment. Twins still left-handed side as Earl in the shotgun formation. Maple River will rush 3. Earl able to get through the pocket and makes a man miss and hops his way to about the 30-yard line, close to the line of gain. It will be about a 13-yard rush, and we'll see if it's third and short or a first down on the way.
That bit of a delay right there just kind of allowed his blockers to get downfield. They controlled that first line and got their old lineman to that second line and got a first down.
Earl, the quarterback. You have Jax Hernandez, a tailback, with Cade Hintz as well in the backfield, and Parker Falk is the lone wide receiver out in this formation. 3 down linemen again for the Raiders right now. In the pistols, Rayshawn Earl, ball at the 30-yard line of Maple River. Earl looking, steps up, going to make a man miss inside, gets to about the 25-yard line. He's going to get 6 yards, and so far, Hoots, if that first or second look isn't there, Earl is taking off and getting some yards.
Yeah, so a combination, good pass coverage by the Raiders there. Like you said, he probably looked like he just looked to his left for a couple seconds and then took off, and 7-8 yards on first down. Nice safe play. It's probably exactly what Coach Moneylaws wants.
The Raiders defensively, Ian Lark and Jonah Thompson on the ends. Defensive tackle of Owen Tickey. Linebackers of Burnson, Anderson, Irie, with defensive backs of Dowes and Warren, and McCoy Bierke at safety. Shotgun, Rayshawn Earl goes to the numbers at the far side, and a stick right in front of you as Preston Dowes was able to make a really good open field tackle, but not before it was a pitch and catch on the far sideline to Tyson Falk for a nice game.
I tell you what, if Rayshawn Earl doesn't have one of the best arms we'll see probably all year, that is 6 going the other way. Dowes was all over that pass right there and made a great break on the ball. Unfortunately for the Raiders, just enough for a first down for the Pirates.
That'll be Parker Falk, the senior, in on the reception. Younger brother of Tyson, also in the starting lineup. So as the clock continues to wind here on the City of Hope scoreboard, for the Hankinson Pirates, 2 first downs so far in this drive. That started back at the Raiders' 41-yard line. Earl, broken play, it's loose and on the turf, and Jonah Thompson's going to come away with the fumble recovery. It went off of Earl's hands, and by the time he linked to try to go pick up the ball, Thompson was already there in the backfield, and it's a fumble here for the Pirates.
All right, so the first major play of the game goes the way of the Raiders. That was heads-up play. A lot of times you see him, corral that, and then it's a broken play, and bad things happen when he's got the ball in the open field. But great job coming up with that ball right away there.
Well, sometimes you just need a good bounce to go your way in a season opener, whether you're the team that's bringing back a bunch of starters or a team that's seeing some new faces. And the Maple River Raiders forced the first turnover of the football season as Dowes on a pitch play. Good pursuit here by Hankinson. There was a tandem combination on that tackle. Parker Falk went down low. Jax Hernandez went up high. But so far, this Pirates team defensively, Hoots, is flying around against this Raiders offense.
I was about to make a comment. Trent Warren really looked like he had that right side sealed, and then he fought to the outside. That defensive end did, and then had real good fill from the linebackers. There's just a lot of team speed in white right now.
Under 8 minutes to play here on the City of Hope scoreboard in quarter number 1, scoreless. Both teams with a 1 possession. The Raiders had to punt, and the Pirates were driving, but a fumble turned the ball over here to the Raiders for their second drive. This one a little trap play, but having none of that in the middle was Mason Malk. The defensive tackle was able to put Dowes down for a tackle for a loss.
No space created. It looked like the linemen from the Hankinson Pirates knew the snap count better than the Raiders did there. They were all over that ball before it barely even got in the hands of Preston Dowes.
And these are situations that you want to try to avoid as a first-year starting quarterback with McCoy Bierke, who it's another 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is something, back in my early play calling days, you maybe try to throw some type of an easy screen pass here to see if maybe they can make somebody miss. don't make it a hard read. That's a good one there.
This one will be tipped up and incomplete as they're looking for open wide receiver and Trent Warren in the flat, but he was covered nicely by Parker Falk, who we've said his name a ton so far in the opening 2 drives defensively for the Pirates, and that makes it a 4th and 13.
Yeah, they fly around. Even if he would have caught that, I'm guessing Warren would have been tackled right at the line of scrimmage, if not maybe for a tackle for loss. Once again, team speed is kind of ruling the day.
As Dowes now will come in and punt for his 2nd time here. See if he can put one past the 50-yard line. Going into a little bit of a wind, again, more crosswind. Dowes with some time, puts a good boot into this one, but this will give Rayshon Earl a chance to catch it at the 48-yard line. Earl gets the 40. Here comes the flag down, and Earl will pop his way to the 35-yard line. We'll see what the flag is all about.
So did you see a fair catch signal right there?
It was close, but I'll put it to you this way. I don't think it was definitive enough. Okay. But yes, the question is it blocking the sun? Or is it a fair catch?
Sure,
right?
That's a fair point. I was just interested. It looked like he wanted to and then decided not to at the last second.
Be a hold on Hankinson, so the first penalty of the game will go against the Pirates. So negate the nice return of about 18 yards there for Rayshon Earl, and it'll bring up a 1st down and 10 upcoming for Hankinson from the spot of the penalty.
It's where the first game of the year, the white hat walks over to the captain and tells him exactly what he's supposed to do. He does not give him the option. First game, you don't want any bad decisions being made by a guy that's got a lot of nerves flowing.
As this will go back to about the Pirate 41-yard line. So they started at the Raiders 41. Now they'll start at their own 41-yard line here, and we'll see what the Pirates can do 1st and 10 on their 2nd drive of the game. 2 wide receivers to the right-handed side is making sure everyone's got their mouth guard and everything else situated here.
We have a beanbag toss.
There we go.
Comes on the change of possession.
So one high safety here for Maple River. Something we haven't maybe really ever said too much under Larry Fontaine. I was talking with Coach Belkey. He mentioned it was pretty much no safeties over the top during Larry's tenure. There's a nice run by Cade Hentz off to the side past the 45 to the 46, and here's this quick up-tempo offense.
Yep, you didn't see it that first possession, but I think there might have been some frustration over there. They didn't score the first possession and try to switch things up.
As this would be another handoff to Hentz, and Hentz gets barrel-wrapped right at the line, and so far a couple of really good plays by Ticky early on.
Yeah, he's kind of been a difference maker here in the first 6 minutes of this game and kind of put him behind the chains twice. So, hey, big play right here.
Also tonight here in Region 1, Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion, and Hatton Northwood. South Border visiting Richland, and Weimar, Lidgerwood, and Enderlin tonight. Griggs Makota has the bye week with no game again as Tri-State is only playing a JV schedule. Shotgun formation. Earl has some time. Earl looking, now being chased out of the pocket. Earl steps up, fires, throws, has a man wide open at the 30-yard line. On the far side is Parker Falk as he makes his way to the 25.
Just a little bit of miscommunication there. A couple sophomores on the outside that may have looked at each other thinking they had the wrong spot covered. But a lot of encouraging coaching here coming on, just understanding they got a lot of youth on the outside and taking care of business on the next one.
Nearly a 30-yard pitch and catch here for the Hankinson Pirates as Earl's going to keep it. Earl makes his way past the 20 to about the 18, and here comes a flag. 2 catches for Parker Falk for 33 yards. We'll see what the penalty is on. Normally where it is.
It's a hold. Yeah.
I'll say hold, a chop block, or hands to the face typically, right, Hoots, when you get the white hat?
Typically it should be a hold where he threw it right in the middle of the line. Yep. It's a lot of things that bother coaches early in a season. One of these is holding, especially on such a positive play you had right there. I mean, you build off that momentum of that big 3rd down play. You get a positive gain on 1st down, and now you got 1st and 20. Not that they can't get 20 yards in 3 plays with the guys they got, but
correct. Just trying to not stub your own toe, so to speak.
Correct.
Shotgun formation, trips to near sideline here for Hankinson. Maple River going to rush 3. Ticky getting double teamed. Now Earl will roll near sideline. Earl at the numbers gets the 40 to the 30, and he gets hit at the 25 and brings a Raider with him to about the 21-yard line. So he gets 14 back and brings up 2nd and medium.
Yeah, great pursuit there from Ticky, but I think that's something you can learn on film. You know, Thompson probably done just a little bit too far inside, and you think you got a good angle on Rayshawn Earl, and you just simply don't. His speed is impressive. He's doing a great job of getting a quick read downfield. Nothing there. Take off. Use your athleticism.
Second down upcoming here for the Pirates. They'll go trips now to the far side here this time with Earl back in the gun with Hernandez to his right. Little screen play. This one goes to Parker Falk. Falk gets a block to the 10-yard line to the 5, and he'll hot step into the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates. It's a quick screen to the outside, and this one goes for 21 yards, and Hankinson scores first on the City of Hope scoreboard.
One really good block on the outside after a quick pitch and catch. That good block led to a crease, and the safety just wasn't there quite in time. Really well done. I think they found their advantage might be on the outside with their speed and athleticism.
And they will go for the 2-point conversion here for Hankinson. 59-yard drive capped off with a 21-yard pitch and catch. As Earl will come under center. Earl, QB keeper on a little power play, able to get the 2-point conversion, and we got a new score on the City of Hope scoreboard. Under 5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter, Hankinson leads by 8.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. How did your planting season go this year? Are you looking to make improvements for next year instead of breaking the bank on a whole new planter? Get the best price of the year on upgrades for your planter from Agassiz Precision Ag this summer. Get $50 back per roll per product for some of our best-selling solutions. Make the precision decision for your planter this summer. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com for more information.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
Drive that went 59 yards, took 2 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock, capped off by a Rayshawn Earl. 21-yard passing touchdown to Parker Falk. Earl with the 2-point conversion. It's 8-love in favor of Hankinson. Hoots, what'd you like from a Pirate point of view on that particular drive?
They did not panic when they got 1st and 20 at about the 30-yard line. You know, a couple things they're going to obviously want to clean up with those couple of holding calls on that last possession. But, yeah, no panic, stuck to their game plan, got the ball in their best players' hands, and let them cook.
As they're taking a look here. Getting everything situated.
Not really sure what the delay is here. Maybe an equipment issue of some sort, but.
As we'll put this ball on the tee. Hence, we'll put this one up, end over end. Dow's on the 15. Gets to 30. And up at the 40-yard line.
You know, coaches preach early on in the season catching the ball in the air when it's kicked, whether it's a punt or it's a, kicked off a tee to, start a possession. You can see the major difference. The first possession, Preston Dow's did not catch the ball in the air, stopped his momentum completely, got out to the 22. This one caught the ball in the air, got one good block, we'll give him that, but got all the way out to the 40, catching the ball with momentum.
We'll see what the Raiders can do here. Best starting field position of the game for the Raiders at their own 40-yard line. Third drive here for the Raiders. Dow's off the left-handed side. Gets a 6-yard to about a 7-yard rush.
This is the third different type of formation the Raiders have run here in the first couple of possessions. I like that, though. Got a little short shuffle motion in from Brennan Anderson. Got an extra lead blocker and a little bit of downfield momentum from your offensive line.
Second down and short here for the Raiders. One wide receiver split out both either side. In the pistol, here's McCoy Bierke. Handoff Dow's gets past the 50, and then Earl sticks him at the 45. But back-to-back really good rushing plays here by the Raiders, and the Maple River will have their first play in Hankinson territory.
Yeah, same idea there. Got an extra blocker going downhill with an extra wing coming through, and just an extra power play. Similar to the last one, different look, same result. Downhill momentum from your offensive line.
On the City of Hope scoreboard, it's a 8-0 game here for Hankinson. As you can see, the shadows making their way through, particularly on this side of the field where their sun is here in Hope. Motion man Dow's in the back. This will be a little jet sweep, able to get to the numbers. Gunnar Ill got blocked by Thompson. That allowed Hoots that little edge, and Dow's was able to get about 5 yards on the rush.
Jonah Thompson plays tight end, he plays defensive end. His entire game, both offensively and defensively, is all about leverage on the edge. We mentioned earlier he didn't quite keep that leverage on the end and let Rayshon get outside of him on that side. On this play over here, he was able to get to that outside shoulder at the end, push him in just a little bit, and created that crease to get 5-6 yards downfield.
As showing just a couple of different formations, but everything going through number 5 Dow's way right now. Now it goes back to the wishbone here. And this on the handoff, and this will be for about a yard or two on the little bit of a misdirection there for Maple River. Jens Irie, the sophomore, with his first run of the season.
Yeah, the kid's got a boatload of talent and athleticism. I think it's just a matter of keeping him on the field. Last year missed some time with some injuries, and just a sophomore, I think he's got a chance to be a really good player.
As we'll see, 3rd and short in a situation like this, you got to think it's 4-down territory here, as long as you don't have a negative kind of a play. One wide receiver, left-handed side.
They haven't shown that quick dive yet.
There's handoff. Dow's makes a man miss, gets to about the 35-yard line before Hintz was able to make the tackle. That's going to be close to the line of gain here, and it's going to be 4th down.
Looks like he's just going to be about a long yard short.
So got some good potential push. But so far, we'll see Hankinson again. They haven't missed on too many tackles so far in open space here, Hoots, in this first quarter.
Yeah, they've been really sure-handed, and every time, the first guy is missed, there's been, player number 2, 3, and 4 ready there to wrap up and just keep them within that down and distance that keeps them comfortable.
Need about 1.5 yards here for Maple River. As going under center is Bierke. McCoy lost it on the exchange, gets on it. It's not going to make a difference. It'll be a turnover on downs. Just could not get the ball in the hands of Dow's, and turnover on downs here will be a loss of 2, and Hankinson's defense holds.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of interior pressure there from Hankinson. I don't know if they would have been able to get a yard out of that play anyway, but you'd still like to see a clean exchange and give him a chance.
So for Maple River, we'll see this one punt, and down so far in their first 3 possessions of the game, all for Hankinson. This will be their 3rd possession, a fumble and a touchdown here, as this one starts at their own 37-yard line with 1:52. Rayshon Earl looking on a little read option play and doing a nice job again so far. We've seen Ticky get into the backfield a handful of times, being disruptive, and Gabe Burnson able to make the tackle right at the line.
I didn't have my best angle on that, but it looked like they may have read Ticky and tried to let him get upfield so they could run underneath of him. Sometimes that's what a coach tries to do. You pick out the best player on the other team up front, and you just read him and make him, be in conflict all game long. But that also frees up those linemen to get in his hip pocket and make plays in the backfield.
Makes it 2nd and 10 now. Twins still left-handed side. Shotgun formation here for Rayshon Earl. Earl, QB keeper, going to take it. Has a lane. Gets the 45 and rumbles his way towards the first down here. Looks like it'll be enough for the first. And so far, just that Rayshon Earl QB keeper, whether it's a delayed draw or just going right off the bat, Hoots, has been a nice play here for the Pirates.
Yeah, and, just let him make plays in space. The Raiders have done a nice job of corralling him, keeping him inside the numbers, except for one instance so far in the first quarter. I think they got to be pretty happy with that.
And they're going to make sure they give the Sticks an opportunity. The Sticks thought it was 3rd and 1. Instead, they say, nope, it's a first down, so let them reset for the little delay. Shotgun, make that pistol formation here for Earl. Earl going to have a speed option play with him and Hernandez. He's going to keep it, and getting past the 50 to about the 46-yard line. Nice tackle by Jens Irie in open space to bring down Earl. He does get to the 47, for a gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. You can tell they had gone through that coverage before the Raiders had in running that option. The outside corner did a nice job of taking away pitch man. Inside backer filled and took the quarterback. Really well done.
About a play, maybe 2 left here in the quarter, depending on how this one goes for the Hankinson Pirates. We've seen a little tempo once. Rayshawn Earl, shotgun. Earl Thompson trying to get him for a sack. Now Earl throwing down the field. This one going to fall. Caught it at the 30 to the 25 and a shoestring tackle there to about the 23-yard line for a gain of 24.
You know, the coach is over here a little frustrated trying to stay with guys, but Rayshawn puts you in conflict all game long. And Coach Belke talked about it in his pregame interview. He does such a good job of extending the play, not with his legs to run, but extending the play to allow his receivers to get open and make you cover for 7-8 seconds. Brandon Anderson did a great job of covering that out to start that play, but then they turned that out into a wheel in the scramble drill, and he just wasn't able to keep up with him.
4 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Hankinson wants to take a quick timeout here after that particular one. We'll keep it here on our City of Hope scoreboard at City of Hope, North Dakota. You can work and play in Hope, from job listings to housing options. You can search hopend.com. That again is hopend.com. And the wind has really subdued here, Hoots, even from the opening kickoff to what we have in the press box. What's it like on the field right now?
The gusts are significantly less often and less forceful here, but obviously, Coach Monelas thinks it's significant enough to take a timeout. And if you're in the defensive huddle for the Raiders right now, you are protecting against a play that's going across the end zone here. You do not take a timeout to run a short out or a running play. You take a timeout to take a shot into the end zone because you have the wind behind you.
As it'll be first down upcoming here, and so far, Rayshawn Earl has loved Parker Falk. 4 completions for 78 yards and a touchdown. All have gone to Parker so far here today. What is this, Manning and Marvin Harrison, like the Colts days, like fantasy football? That was a 1-2 combination.
Yeah, and he's kind of their short, speedy slot receiver, it kind of appears. So I don't know if that's exactly more like Wes Welker from Tom Brady, maybe.
As we'll see the shotgun, and looks to be the final play of the quarter, barring a penalty, as Rayshawn Earl moves the pocket, right-handed side. Earl steps up, fires, throws, looking for guess who? Falk, incomplete. He got behind the defense, and the Raiders catch a break, and that'll be the first incompletion for Earl here today. After 1 quarter of play on the City Hope scoreboard, it's Hankinson 8, Maple River scoreless as we head to quarter number 2.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
As we head to quarter number 2, in the last meeting up here in Hope, Hankinson won 42-30 back on October the 30th in the opening round of the 9-man playoffs. Rayshawn Earl had 318 yards and 6 touchdowns in that game, while T. Silling had 329 yards of offense and had 5 touchdowns in that game. T now moving on to the University of Sioux Falls, while Earl now playing his senior year here for Hankinson. All that he did last year is already has the most touchdowns in school history and single-game passing touchdowns and some more records as well. As they'll move the pocket one more time as they're looking for that double move down the field. This one to Parker, going to be incomplete. Was there a penalty on it? They're going to say no, there was not, but they kind of have that double move, Hoots, where they kind of have that hitch and go, and that time staying with them a little bit better was Jens Irie on the play.
Yeah, I think if the Pirates watch that back in slow-mo, they might be a little more disappointed than they were, a little more upset with the officiating. It looked like he got there a little bit early, and it's always tough. You usually get the benefit of the doubt as the receiver when you beat your guy has his back to the ball, and the ball comes in a perfect spot. But, hey, Raiders got a break. Now they got to get 2 more stops here.
3rd down and 10, and we'll see where Hankinson goes. Very similar play to end the first quarter that they started here in quarter number 2 here from the Pirates' perspective. Shotgun formation, trips to the right-handed side. As Hankinson looking to get that second score of the game. Maple River trying to bend but don't break defense. Earl steps up, fires, throws. This one in the middle, incomplete. As he was looking for another fault, that's Tyson up on that post pattern. That's going to bring up by 4th and 10.
He had him in a gap there. Bierke was playing a little too much toward the middle of the field with all the action going to his left, and Rayshon just kind of missed him in that pocket that you have against cover 3.
So 4th and 10 upcoming here for the Hankinson Pirates after going 4 for 4 to start the contest. Rayshon Earl has now gone 0 for 3 on his last 3 passing attempts. However, they've been close. Maple River one good defensive stand away from getting off the field. All Hankinson, they need 10 yards for a first. Earl moving, looking, right-handed side. Earl to the 20, Earl to the 15. Earl hops his way close to what the line of gain was needed. He needed the 12-yard line, Hoots. You're on the far side. You got a good view of it.
If the mark from this official on our side is accurate, he is a good yard, if not yard and a half short, but he is jogging inward. Yeah, the mark is significantly different on the far side than it is over here.
And again, you need the 12-yard line, so anything short of the 12 is going to be a turnover on downs.
The chain guys are going to have to run 53 1/3. Sorry, guys. No.
And they will give them the first, it looks like.
That's interesting. It's interesting why they didn't measure. They are asking for a measurement, so I would assume we will get it.
Let's see what you want in a situation like this. I understand.
Yeah, it is way too close to not measure. That's just my personal opinion. But here we go.
So 10 yards on the way, 6 carries for 50 yards. I understand the situation. And right now I think you're going to get timeout for a Maple River potentially, because now the question is, can you reset the chain gang? Now the NFL is going to have...
depends on if they kept...
The NFL is going to have hawk vision. We don't have hawk vision here, so we can't really worry about that. But I kind of agree with you, Hoots. Whether I'm Hankinson or Maple River defensively in that situation early on in the contest, you feel like you should run out and make for darn sure, especially when it's not on the near side where the actual chain gang is.
I tell you what, you cover your backsides by making it look good, by making the chain gang run all the way across the field, and do it even if it's just for show. You might know for sure you're a half yard past the line, but you got to bring it. If it's all the way on the other side, you have to bring the chains out. This is inexcusable.
It's one thing if it's 3rd and 1. It's another thing when it's 4th down. And so right now the White Hats talking it over, and they're going to say it is a first down on the way. And if you're the Maple River Raiders, whether it's Coach Belke or his assistant coaches, I understand the situation.
You are always allowed to request a measurement, but they are not allowing them to do that, which is
especially, I think it's more so after the resets.
Absolutely.
I think you kind of had to almost throw the measurement out the door. Regardless, Earl was close, but they will say he got enough for the first, and now can Hankinson try to cash in? Earl looking, trying to evade a sack, and he can't. Ticky able to close him down, then Thompson wraps him up for the tackle for a loss, and eventually it's a sack of about 10 yards.
I think the Raider defensive line definitely fed off a little bit of emotion and frustration coming from the Raider coaching staff. You can channel that emotion in 2 different ways, positively like they did right there, or negatively and show frustration and give up. I'm definitely happy for the Raiders that they were able to channel that in the positive way.
Well, 2nd down upcoming, but we've seen Hankinson score from 20 yards out already here today on a quick little bubble screen to Parker Falk. About same situation of what it was in the first quarter. Earl has all the time, looks, finds a cutting pattern, crossing pattern here to Cade Hentz, and Hentz is able to get to a nice catch on the play.
So he must have just fell out of bounds. You don't have a great angle up there, but it's better than mine on the far side.
As they're going to give him the first down, it looks like. If it is a first down, then it will be a 1st and goal situation, and it will be.
It was right at it again.
So give him for about the gain of 18 yards. First catch of the season for Hintz. As we see Rayshon Earl 1st and goal. Little stretch handoff. Fortunate to get the ball off to Hernandez there. as by the time it was a low snap, kind of disrupted the timing there, Hoots, and it could have been a second Pirate turnover
Yeah,
potentially.
I think it was supposed to be that old, maybe Peyton Manning reference again, stretch handoff there, and he just couldn't quite get it. Ended up kind of flipping it to him. Great job by Jonah Thompson here on the outside, keeping his outside contain responsibilities, and then good fill from the linebackers.
96 yards throwing so far for Rayshawn Earl. It'll be 2nd and goal at about the 3-yard line here for the Pirates. 2 wide receivers left-handed side, speed option. Earl's going to try to get to the edge. He's got it, and he walks in for the touchdown. It's a 3-yard rushing score for Earl, and the Pirates now take a 14-0 lead.
I think Pirates did a nice job of winning that play with their formation. They showed a lot of stuff over on the opposite side of the play, and then just simply ran Rayshawn in the opposite direction.
So you get Earl on the play for 3 yards, 7 carries now for 61 yards and a touchdown here for Earl, as we'll see the 2-point conversion upcoming. As we're 9 minutes and 38 seconds left here in the opening half. Shotgun or going under center. We saw Earl go under center. That was kind of like a quarterback power play for the 2-point conversion in the first quarter. Earl going to do the same type of play here, and he gets tripped up, and it won't be a 2-point conversion. So, new score, though. It's Hankinson 14, Maple River scoreless here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Visit the new Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro. They have everything you need. Explore our large selection of quality hardware and building materials, perfect for every project. Inside, you'll find Valspar paint to brighten your home, top-of-the-line Milwaukee and DeWalt tools for every job, plus all the essentials for a successful harvest. Flashlights, glass cleaner, paper towels, scrapers, grain shovels, and more. Make your next stop Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
High school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com. A 63-yard drive capped off by an Earl 3-yard rushing touchdown as Hankinson has a 8-0 lead here on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes with you. Make sure you stay tuned to our halftime show. We'll take a look at the first half numbers, recap the scoring and the possessions here of the game, and take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard. That and more is still to come later on here today from Hope. End over end kick by Hentz. This will be grabbed at the 20 by Dowse. Dowse makes his way, and Hentz, the kicker, will bring him down about the 27-yard line.
That's impressive to be the guy that kicks it off and make the play downfield. Usually if you have one good player and 8 guys that don't know what they're doing, the kicker's got to be the one that kicks it and goes to make the tackle, but that's certainly not the case with Hankinson.
Not at all. Hentz was like a heat-seeking missile after kicking that one. No one blocked him, and
you wonder who the safety valve is. When I coached, it was always the kicker would kick it and then just kind of hang out and just kind of mirror wherever the ball went 40 yards downfield. They're apparently just like, everybody just go get the tackle.
As if you have that lane, right, just guard your lane, so
That's
to
right,
speak,
yeah.
and go make a play. Wishbone formation, handoff. Making his way is going to be Irie, and then Irie gets past the 30 to about the 31-yard line here for a gain of 4.
I would say from Irie there, I'd give him an A on his explosion and probably about a D- on ball security. But he got lucky, got downhill, and hung on to it. That's something that you can continue to improve upon as the season goes on. It's only August.
Able to make his way to the 31-yard line here for the Maple River Raiders. As Maple River right now looking to see if they can put a drive together and get into Pirate territory here, where Hankinson a quick 3 and out. All of a sudden they could really turn the game around. Well, speaking of turning the game around, here goes Dowse. Earl able to bring him down in the secondary, but not before Dowse got a crease, gets to the 41, a gain of 10, 1st and 10 Maple River.
Yeah, like you said, a good crease, and then I kind of jumped over here. I thought he had the angle, and then I realized who was chasing him. And unfortunately for the Raiders, that was Rayshawn Earl, and there's really no angle that he's not going to be able to take advantage of and make the play.
So they'll move the chains to the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for Maple River. And we've seen a handful of formations here for the Raiders. And that little wishbone has resulted in a first down, and they will stay into a double tight. This will be an I formation. Bjerke under center, Dowse dots the I. Pitch play goes to Dowse. Dowse cuts inside, and you only get to about the 45-yard line. Coming in on one of the tackles there was Jax Hernandez alongside with Parker Falk.
You know, if you'd asked me 5 minutes ago what's working best for the Raiders, I would have said stuff that's outside of the tackles had kind of been the most productive for them, but they're starting to mix it up now. They ran something inside on the last play and then ran a little toss and got some more positive yardage. Just keep playing ahead of the sticks. This offense right now with a young quarterback who hasn't had a ton of reps needs to be playing ahead of the sticks. Can't have any of those 3rd and 10s like they did in the first 2 possessions.
So second down upcoming here as Bjerke looks at Dowse. And now we'll go under center. Hankinson now with more of a 4-down lineman. Motion man going outside. Handoff goes to Dowse to the right-handed side. Dowse keeping the pile turning. Probably got an extra 2-3 yards on that second effort there. Makes it 3rd and very manageable 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested to find out from Coach Bjelke if that is, you know, LSU has kind of made that under center inside toss play kind of fun and you know, it's been going on the last 5-6 years for them, but I don't think he wanted that thing tossed. It's probably the next time they run that play, he's probably handing it off.
As it'll be 3rd and short here for the Raiders. As you'll see in the backfield with Irie and Dowse, part of this wishbone, alongside with Anderson, that fullback spot. Handoff Dowse, and they come in on a blitz, and they get there. Hintz read it perfectly. It'll be a tackle of a loss for about 4.
That was a little bit of miscommunication, kind of the first big decision here from Coach Bjelke. I believe they're going punt.
Hankinson deferred to the second half as well, so if that, you know, starts creeping in your mind here, Hoots, you know that the Pirates will start with the ball to start the second half as well.
Yeah, that's why there's, you know, obviously a little bit of a decision here, but with the wind, you hope maybe you can pin them back inside the 20. They're not even putting a guy back, so, you know, if you can get the ball rolling on the ground here, maybe they can flip the field position and get a stop.
As this one, Dowse puts the right-footed boot into it. This one will get rolled at the 10-yard line, and that'll be to about the 12. So a good punt on the way by Dowse, able to flip the field. That's where Hankinson will take over just over 6 minutes to play here in the opening half.
2 things I like about that. Number one, they did go hard count to try to get the free 5 yards and then put themselves in a position to go 4th and 1, the Raiders did. And then secondly, you know, it was a good snap. Dowse has realized that, hey, they're not putting any pressure on this punt. Take my time, put my foot on it, and try to pin him as best they could. And great discipline by the Pirates not jumping on that. You know, that would have made the decision to probably go for it. Pretty straightforward for Coach Bjelke.
And with how you've been moving the ball, easy to play, maybe more punt safe, right? Not have a returner over the top.
And a lot of times coaches say the amount of negative things that can happen coming from rushing a punter outweighs the positives.
As they will come into a shotgun formation here for Rayshon Earl or make that a pistol. Maple River bluffing a blitz. They'll bring 3. This is a little handoff. That'll go to Hernandez, and he's got a shoestring tackle close to about the 15-yard line. It's a gain of about 2. Nice play on the play there from the Raiders and Guy Burnson.
Tell you what, the combination of Ticky on the first line of defense and Burnson on the second line of defense, they've really worked together well. It seems like one of those 2 are in the backfield each and every time. You know, and every time they do get in the backfield, it seems to be positive things happening for the Raiders. But once again, they're not behind the sticks. They got a good opportunity to chew this clock and get another score.
Burnson, the senior, Ticky, the junior here this season for Maple River as the shadows are coming more into play from the school. Here in Hope, trips to the left-handed side. This formation was a formation that got the quick screen for a touchdown in quarter number 1. They're running the exact same play, but Parker Falk drops the football. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
There's some very aggressive blocking going on the outside. Some good fights between these 2. You can tell that the Raiders aren't backing down from the fight on the outside, but the Pirates are the far superior physical team on the outside right now. Their receivers are really getting into those blocks.
Awfully large 3rd down here. You start taking a look at the clock. You got all 3 timeouts left if you're Maple River, 2 for Hankinson. You get a 3-and-out for the Raiders, get your ball back in the maybe greatest field position. Well, if you're Hankinson, get a 1st down. Keep moving the chains. Speed option. Earl going to keep it to the 20. He's got the 1st down and some. Earl to the near sideline, 50. Rayshon Earl could go, and he's going to be down the boundary as that one will make its way all the way towards an end zone. Touchdown here for Rayshon Earl. That'll go 85 yards. Got to the boundary, got to the sideline, and Earl with a house call.
change the way they blocked the first time on that speed option. They did not have an extra blocker out front. This time they ran more of a power option. They got a guy out in front. They ran that short motion. He took care of the guy that was in charge of the quarterback and then put everybody in the Raiders in conflict, and then it was just a race, and the Raiders are not equipped to win that race.
As we'll see this now coming out with a 2-point conversion on the way as Earl went right underneath us here. The nice thing about this press box is right on top of you. The bad thing, when it goes opposite of where you're standing, you can't see anybody once it's down the sideline as we get a flag, and this one looks to be on Gunnar Ilg jumping, and we'll have a 2-point conversion now about an extra 5 yards from where the spot originally was.
How about the 2x4 right in your way, too? You like that?
Yeah, you like the 2x4. I got about a 4x2 in terms of personnel up here with a couple of other folks, but that's because of, you got a score clock operator, got a camera operator, another camera operator, a PA, and on the opposite side, if you're on the right-hand side of the press box that goes left, Oots, you got the same problem.
It takes an army to run a football game.
As we have the 2-point conversion on the way. Play action, rolling, Earl near sideline, looking, Earl with a chance to tuck and run, and he's going to run and hits the little hit stick there. As Rayshawn Earl will see this, that'll be good for the 2-point conversion on the hit stick. And a new score on the City Hope scoreboard. It's Hankinson 22, Maple River scoreless, just over 5 left to play in the half.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley School Districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an ag loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC.
Rayshawn Earl made that look easy. And ball started at the 12-yard line and just under a minute and 2 seconds here off the clock. Earl caps it off with an 85-yard rushing touchdown. He gets a 2-point conversion as well as Hankinson has a 22-0 lead over the Maple River Raiders. Also tonight here on YourLiveEvent.com, Botno at Lisbon, and you have Grafton at Hillsborough Central Valley. If you like a little high school football tomorrow, we got you covered at 1. Ray Powers Lake goes to Northern Cass. This will be another return opportunity for Dow's. Dow's gets the numbers to 30, then taken out of bounds there, and that's where Maple River will start with the football for their 5th possession of the game. And Hankinson starts the second half with the football here. So if you're Maple River, this almost has a you must score kind of a situation here, Hooch, just in terms of time and where the game currently is standing, and seeing how Hankinson again is able to just have some big back-breaking kind of plays.
Yeah, this is going to be worst case scenario. You got to at least wear a couple minutes off the clock here and punt them deep again.
As Dow's the single back in the backfield. Handoff goes to Dow's right-hand side, and he gets met. Good job by Cade Hintz, but also a better job by Malk right there, really learning the leverage play for Mason Malk, the senior, and stopping it at the line. It will be a loss of about 2.
Yeah, that was a tremendous job by the entire defensive line there. They stood up all the guys in blue, and it was dead from the beginning. I think Preston Dow's is running on fumes right now. The combination of running with all of those wheel routes here in the first half, combined with he's got to have close to 15 carries, and plus returning every kick. I think he needs his halftime more than anybody else on the field.
12 carries for Dow's for 36 yards so far here for Maple River. And both of these teams, kind of what you expect with Nyman in terms of roster sizes, both are under 20 here this season. Rolling, Bjerke spinning out of a sack, and then it fumbles the football. Gunnar Ilg picks it up, and it will be a turnover. So he gets hit, Ilg is there, and that'll be a turnover as the Pirates force the first turnover of the season here defensively.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure early up front. Really well done getting to the quarterback early on. He just didn't get very deep on his drop, and then right as he was about to make a decision to throw the ball, contact was made from a defensive lineman.
I guess you call that a pick because it never reached the turf there.
But it might have been backwards.
The
pass might have been backwards. I'm not sure.
That's the one thing from our angle in the press box. Regardless, it's a turnover, no matter how you slice it or you dice it here. And for the Pirates, this is where you kind of have that old, okay, let's see if you can get another one up here, and how greedy can you get before the half. Hankinson with Earl in the shotgun. Earl lost it. Regains possession. Broken play here, and Earl will get a stick at the 20-yard line. That one is a very kind of a play where you might say the wind knocked out of you, and Jens Irie delivers the lumber.
Yeah, Jens has been really impressive here in this first half, been flying around, making plays outside the numbers, inside the numbers, taking down the best player on the field. He's done a really good job. Now slides out, kind of play a slot corner position.
Hankinson 5 wide. They got a man in the end zone. Touchdown if it's completed. Jax Hernandez was able to get by the defender. He was the 3 wide receivers on the left there, Hoots, and they just kind of ran him up the numbers, and all of a sudden he was lost defensively by Maple River secondary. Unfortunate for the Raiders because that was a really nice throw there by Earl.
Yeah, there's been several miscommunications here in this first half between corner and safety, corner and backer. I'm sure that'll get cleaned up here at halftime, but they got to try to buckle down and get a stop here on third down.
2 wide receivers, right-handed side, shotgun formation for Earl. Third and a long 10. Earl hopping, looking, picks up a block. Earl to 25. Flags come out here as he will step out of bounds to the 20. So here's your situation as a coach, Hoots. Do you take the field position or do you make it go 4th down?
Okay, I'll answer your question with a question. Would you rather have to stop Rayshon Earl once or twice?
I'd probably say once.
Okay.
The yeah, but is.
Yeah, but is 20. I understand that.
The yeah, but is 20 yards compared to, 4th and 10. And so we'll see for Sean Belke what he would like to do. Earl stepped out of bounds roughly where the line of scrimmage was at the 20-yard line to begin with.
I'm okay with either decision. I'm probably declining it if I'm in charge, but I completely understand if you want to push him back and make him go 20 yards.
So it's 3 penalties for 25 yards prior to that penalty. This will be the 4th one of the game now for the Hankinson Pirates, as they want to make sure that they do bring it across, and now the officials are checking one more time to make sure if there's declining or they're accepting it. They already marked it off as if they are going to accept it. Block in the black will be declined, so it will be 4th down. 3 minutes and 33 seconds here in the opening half in a game that started at 7:02, 50 minutes old here today in Hope, North Dakota.
If 3 and 89 do their jobs here, you give an opportunity for the Raiders to get on offense here. They got to stay outside of those ends, make Rayshon make a play inside of the pocket, and let the DBs do their jobs downfield.
Rayshon Earl in the gun. They rush 3. Earl looking, firing, throwing. This one to Hintz is going to be incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. Getting there just a hair early for the Raiders is Dow's, and that'll be a pass interference.
That's tough. That was really good pressure from the offensive line to make him move outside of the pocket. There was a lot of traffic over there, but you could argue, they got away with one earlier. If that wasn't pass interference, it could have been a makeup.
And here was the interesting thing. You got to walk it off from the 20-yard line, as one more time this would be half a distance to the goal, so ball will be at the 10, and then you got to spot it, and I think it's about a half yard short.
I think they're a solid 2. Yeah. They do have to make it all the way to the 8-yard line. Let's make a mental note of that if the tackle ends up happening on your side of the field.
So with the pass interference in high school, again, it's not an automatic first down.
Correct.
So that makes it now 4th down and 2 as Coach Moneylaws wants a timeout. We'll break with him here on your liveevent.com.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
On the City of Hope scoreboard, work and play in Hope, North Dakota. It's 22-0. Hankinson over the Maple River Raiders. 4th down and short upcoming here for Hankinson. We'll see what Coach Moneylaws wants to do after his second time out here of the half. Pistol formation. Rayshawn. A little option read. This goes Hernandez. Hernandez will shake and bake into the end zone. Touchdown Pirates from 10 yards.
I think Hankinson did a nice job of taking advantage of a lot of eyeballs being on number 2 and giving it to somebody else, and then just playing a numbers game. And that was a really, really well-designed play. It's worked 3 or 4 times here in this first half.
10-yard rushing touchdown makes it 28-0. Also, they've done enough with Hernandez where you have to account for him, Hoots. As much as you want to account for Earl, they have, ran the football to him 5 times so far in this half.
Yeah, and positive yardage most of the time.
As you'll see this pistol formation one more time for Rayshawn Earl trying to make it a 30-0 game. It's a speed option RPO play, and they're going to Hintz. So Hintz unable to make the catch, but the Hankinson Pirates do score from 10 yards thanks to Hernandez. 3:19 left to play in the opening half. It's 28 rip here for Hankinson.
Oh, jeez. That's a lot of water.
No! Jeez Louise!
This system is packing 70-mile-per-hour winds, golf ball-sized hail, and a fast drop in temperature.
Oh, jeez. Dave and Cheryl's kitchen started on fire.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez, let's take a look.
Oh, geez, moments happen. Be ready with Irie Insurance.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
Since the opening drive, which resulted in a fumble for Hankinson, it's been 4 consecutive drives that have resulted now in a touchdown here for the Pirates. And all of a sudden you look up, it's a 28-0 game. Last year, it was the second half in which Hankinson defeated Maple River in the playoff game, outscoring the Raiders 26-8 in their 42-30 win. Right now they're saying let's get to business here in the first half and put some points on the board. This one will hop and go to Dow's at the 16. Dow's will pick it up at the 20, cuts back, and this one will go to about the 25-yard line. Nice 1-2 combination of Jax Hernandez and Tyson Falk able to come in, but we do have a flag back at the 45.
It's an interesting place to have a flag.
I was maybe thinking when Dow's cut back to
yeah,
our
sure.
side,
Yep.
maybe that's where you get a block in
Yep.
the back or block on the numbers. That would be the only thing at this juncture is where the flag was. There was no extracurriculars either sometimes where
Right.
it's away from the ball. Hoots, you would maybe think, maybe 2 guys are getting in a little bit of a, ram locking horns type of a
Sure.
situation. For the most part, for a season opener, though, Hoots, outside of what you would expect, maybe a false start here,
Yeah.
a low snap here, it's been a fairly clean game for this season.
Yeah, it really
opener.
has. There's been a couple of exchanges that I'm sure both teams would like to have back, but fairly clean.
Say clip on Maple River. They'll take it from the spot and mark the yards there. So this will be the second penalty of the game against the Raiders.
Which isn't anything to be upset about. If you can play almost 24 minutes of football, 21 minutes of football, and only have 2 penalties in the, new regime, first game of the year against a quality opponent. Yeah, like I said, there hasn't been any pre-snap penalties though. That's been really nice to have. You don't have any of those dead periods. Clock's been moving fairly quick.
Maybe about 10 yards then on the penalty, as they will mark it back to about the 14-yard line here, or the 13, so check that, 13 yards on the penalty. Half distance to the goal. As right now for Bierke, comes on that single, back formation, pitches it. Here goes to Dow's. Dow's trying to get to the boundary, and Dow's gets thrown down by Cade Hintz. But Jonah Thompson, as you alluded to, who it's all game long playing on the boundary, trying to either set the edge or get rid of the edge.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 2-yard run for Preston.
He's, like I said, a constant battle for leverage when you play outside contained positions in 9-man football. It's just critical to win that battle. And you can see, most of the time the guy you're facing on offense, you're going to face him on defense as well, because very often you're playing, that body type. You're playing tight end and D end. It's fun to watch.
2nd down and 8 upcoming here for the Maple River Raiders. A first down would loom large, as Hankinson probably want to get their hands back on the football potentially here in this first half. But right now, Maple River will see this little reverse, able to spin his way. Getting closer to about the 17, maybe the 18 there was Trent Warren. Oh, misdirection play right there does result in about a gain of 2.
Yep, I believe it took a timeout. Hankinson did. Is that their 3rd?
That'll be their 3rd timeout here for the Hankinson Pirates. We'll break with them, and we'll have the conclusion of the first half when we return on the City of Hope scoreboard.
The Maple Valley School District is engaging students in a world-class education, preparing them for lifelong success. Maple Valley serves the surrounding communities of Buffalo, Fingal, Oriska, and Tower City with a grade student-to-teacher ratio per class. For more information, go online to myraiders.org. That's myraiders.org. The Maple Valley School District wishes the best to the Raiders coaches and athletes this season. Go Raiders!
Joey Hughes, the man behind the scenes. Nathan Hoots on the sidelines. Chase Miller with you here today on YourLiveEvent.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to another season of high school athletics here on Your Live Event. We're getting a little old. It's about a decade old. So when it first started back in 2017. So we're nearing a nice little round number. And speaking of a round number, they need 6 is what Maple River needs here on this one. So Hankinson calls a timeout going, all right, we understand. We want the ball back one more time. Also, it's large for the simple fact of if you can get the ball, put something in the end zone, you start talking about mercy rule to start that second half and really minimizing the possessions you can get if there's a comeback here for the Raiders. Handoff, Dow's, and Dow's just can't go anywhere. We've said a lot about Hintz. I think you can say a good chunk about Mauk as well, the way this one is going. And really good job again by that defensive Pirates line here, Hoots, on that particular play.
Yeah, just pressure immediately. We must have mismarked a timeout, because Hankinson just took either their 4th timeout or we only had them down for 1 maybe instead of 2.
Well, they took one before the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
They took one in the second quarter, and they took a second one in the second quarter.
So that's their 4th timeout of the first
unless
half.
Maple River was one to call the timeout in that situation.
No, that was definitely their 4th timeout, yes.
All right. Well, with 2 minutes left to play here in this first half, we'll keep it here on YourLiveEvent.com. It's the Maple River Raiders and the Hankinson Pirates. I guess what has impressed you most here, Hoots, from a Hankinson perspective? Again, a team that we kind of talked about. You know what? There's going to be some expectations on you for making it to the playoffs last year, winning a playoff game here in Hope. It's 2 consecutive years in which you have made the postseason. You're bringing back a good core and nucleus here from the last couple of years, a lot of varsity experience. What's impressed you most here in this first half?
I think, at least I did, I expected them to live and die by the big play. And they've done a really good job of taking exactly what the Raider defense has given them. It's been a lot of dink and dunk and underneath stuff, and Rayshawn hasn't forced the issue downfield. And then when the opportunity presents itself, they go and make a really big play. It hasn't been 80-yard touchdown. They did have an 85-yarder, but it hasn't been big play after big play. So kind of credit to the Raiders defense for making them play in front of them the whole first half, but also the Pirates being willing, okay, this is what you're going to give us, and we'll just take it and slowly matriculate the ball down the field.
So we'll see a 4th down upcoming here for Maple River. Low snap. Dow's will kick this one off. Right-footed end-over-end kick that'll take a bounce. Earl picks it up at the 47. Flag on the play. Earl's got the lane, and Earl's got the crease, and Earl's got real estate as he will score another touchdown, pending the penalty. Touchdown here for Rayshawn, but again, a couple of yellow hankies on the field.
Yeah, definitely a block in the back on this side of the field.
I think that particular play, though, just showed you if you feel like you don't have team speed to match up with Rayshawn Earl, just punt it to you, Hoots, right? Just say angle punt for 20 yards and just kick it out of bounds to a fan.
There were a couple times I told my guy, you see that pole over there? Kick it. Go get it. We don't want anything to do with having to defend 53 1/3 against that type of speed.
So they'll mark the penalty at the about midfield. And this penalty for Hankinson, something that Coach Moneylaws talked about on the pregame show. He said, we understand no matter who you play, no matter what year it is, how many guys you have coming back, it's the first game of the year. You're going to have some mistakes. You're going to have some miscues. It's how can you quickly go from week 1 to week 2, minimizing those miscues going forward. And a little different this year, Hoots, with 9-man football. We've had games the last couple of years. We've gone from 4 regions to 8 regions to 4 regions
back and forth
to 8 regions where sometimes you play a season opener and it doesn't count to your playoff.
Yep.
Where this one, win or lose, it does count if you're going to make the playoffs potentially and could be a tiebreaker come October.
Yep, exactly. And then I love that every game matters now.
As Rayshawn Earl, shotgun ball be spotted at the 41-yard line. Earl looking. Earl gets the ball up before he gets hit. This one was batted up, and it's going to be batted down. Good defense by Maple River. Thompson was about a step away from maybe getting that ball out of Earl's hands. But regardless, it'll be 2nd and 10.
I like seeing a lot of bodies around the ball, though. There were, several defenders for the Raiders around where the ball ended up coming down. Many times it ends up being one-on-one, and you really don't want to have to do that one-on-one. So, having multiple bodies around.
And if you're Maple River, you can already see a little bit different. Not that you're in prevent mode, but you're going to have maybe 3 guys 10, 15 yards off the ball trying to keep everything in front of you. Will Earl take the shot, or will he take something underneath? As Earl looking near sideline, Earl gets the numbers. Earl is going to run underneath us, and they will mark him out of bounds at about the 45-yard line for a gain of 4, and it stops the clock with 90 seconds left in the half.
I tell you what, both Ian Lark and Jonah Thompson, they are going to be so relieved to not have to see the speed of the quarterback as the weeks move forward. Obviously they're going to see a lot of speed, when they play Lemoore, and, there's other teams that have team speed. But if they can just hold their own and show a lot of good tape here, I think the future is bright for the remainder of this season.
Yeah, just 2 guys between Hankinson and the Lobos, right? You have Earl and then Gunnar Thielges. Those are 2 absolute dudes when it comes to sports. Says Earl, looks, fires, caught. That's a first down. That's a gain of about 9 yards, and Hankinson will get on the ball quickly.
That is a college-level throw he made right there. It was kind of a jump throw. He realized it came open and just hit him, and we go up tempo here.
I would say there's some college coaches that would love Rayshawn to play basketball, football, you name it. As Earl looking again, Earl making his way. There's another flag. Earl will step up, fire, throw, finds Ilg up the far sideline to the 25. But again, a flag coming here in the backfield.
Once again, a tremendous amount of patience shown by Rayshawn Earl. He wanted to go deep, and then he had a check down for about 3 or 4 yards, but decided, hey, let's keep this play going. Let's see what can happen. And then it went scramble drill. And sometimes when he comes to your side, you run deep, and he just found that pocket about 15 yards downfield, and really well done.
Just over a minute left to play here. That'll be the 5th penalty of the game now for the Hankinson Pirates of 45 yards. And going to Sean Belke, the one thing he mentioned in our pregame show, Hoots, was he said, I asked him, I said, win, lose, or draw, what just do you want to see from your team the first game? And he goes, something to carry over to week 2, something to carry over for the rest of the season, something where we feel good, whether it's defense, offense, or special teams, and can feel like we have something brewing for the rest of the year. As we'll see a first down and 20 upcoming here. Rayshawn Earl. Earl looking, firing, finds a man at the 20-yard line. A back-handed catch almost. Past the 20 to about the 16. That goes to Parker Falk. Nice play.
Yeah, just another big chunk. I was complimenting him on having multiple guys around the ball a couple plays ago, but that ended up being single coverage. And I think that was, like you said, you want to create that shell. You don't want to call it prevent, but create that shell that everything is in front of you, and the shell was just a little too loose there. And, they were able to throw that deep ball in front of that cover 3 corner.
115 yards so far for Parker Falk on 5 catches for a touchdown, as well as Earl rolls left-handed side. Earl now will just tuck it, and he'll say, I'm going to take as many yards, get out of bounds, stop the clock. It'll be a 1st and goal situation. Ball spotted at about the 7-yard line.
I almost got a little too involved in the game right there. It came right at me. I do not have the speed and quickness to avoid that collision.
Earl now 11 carries, knocking on the door of 160 yards rushing, and he does have that big rushing touchdown from earlier today as well of 85 yards and a 3-yard rushing touchdown to boot. And now the playbook is open, Hoots, even though he got no timeouts. A 1st and goal situation, he can do anything here.
Yeah, time is not an issue with the 1st and goal situation.
Motion man, Falk, speed option, Earl, going to get tackled at about the 4-yard line, so a gain of 3.
Yeah, I think they ran that first option at Thompson's side and didn't have much luck, and they've kind of just attacked the opposite way now.
30 seconds and counting here in the first half. Earl gives it to Hernandez. Hernandez at the 5. Hernandez going to be tackled at the 1.
Good stick to come up and fill right in front of the goal lines. And once again, some really aggressive blocking downfield. That's really, really impressive.
12 seconds, 10 seconds. Hintz, little wildcat, if you will. Hintz puts the helmet down. He rumbles his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Pirates.
First time Rayshon hasn't touched the ball on a play. And, just as fast as they went, there was a lot of confusion, I think, from the Raiders. Combination of being really tired, situationally, been stressed all game long, and just gave up an easy one.
And that's also a tough situation where the clock's winding down, as you alluded to. All of a sudden you look in the backfield and you're going, hey, where's number 2, right? We got to look at where this guy is, and then here comes a barreling Cade Hintz down your throat for a touchdown.
Not exactly a breather when he gets the ball going downhill.
As you'll see, this one, pistol formation here for the Hankinson Pirates. That's the 2-point play here for Hankinson. As they will go and they'll find another man. That's going to be on a quick little slant there for Tyson Falk. The 2-pointer is good. 5 seconds remaining here in the half. Hankinson with a 36-0 lead.
We always say we're a one-stop shop. North Star Ag is a full-service shoreline machinery dealership, so we have the 3 departments: sales, service, parts, fully staffed, have full inventory of all the parts and whole goods needed. We really value the service and the support that any traditional dealership would give you, but we specialize in shorelines. You can give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
36-0 here. 5 consecutive possessions for the Hankinson Pirates in which they have found pay dirt and able to put the ball in the end zone and get a couple of touchdowns. 3 of them by Earl. We've seen 1 by Jax Hernandez, 1 there by Hintz, and another one by Parker Falk on a receiving end of a Rayshon Earl. A little quick screen. For Maple River, I think the question coming into this season was with, the guys of T. Silling and Carter Bosch, who had their hand on the football a lot over the last couple of years, who could be that playmaker and who could be that guy that gets more than a 5 or 10-yard rush in a particular football game, as Hintz will just pooch this one to about the 40-yard line. It's a free ball, and it's a live ball. Eventually getting on it at about the 38-yard line is Maple River with Ian Lark with 1 second coming off the clock. And I think that's just going to be the question throughout the course of the year, no matter who they play, Hoots, is who's going to be that guy. We've seen Dowes, we've seen Jen Zyrie, we've seen, Anderson here, but early in this particular season, who's going to be that big home run potential playmaker here for Maple River as the year continues?
Yeah, I think it's definitely you're gonna look to Preston Dowes first. We've seen some explosive plays from Jen Zyrie, both offensively and defensively. And I think, once you play a team that's not quite the standard of Hankinson, maybe we'll be able to pop some of those. It's just right now you kind of ran into a buzzsaw in week 1.
As Bjerke will take the knee, and that's how we'll go to the half here on our City of Hope scoreboard in Hope, North Dakota. It's the visiting Hankinson Pirates, a team that's receiving votes in the 9-man poll. 36, the Maple River Raiders scoreless. We're back with the halftime show coming up next as we take a look at the first half numbers when we return.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Visit the new Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro. They have everything you need. Explore our large selection of quality hardware and building materials, perfect for every project. Inside, you'll find Valspar paint to brighten your home, top-of-the-line Milwaukee and DeWalt tools for every job, plus all the essentials for a successful harvest. Flashlights, glass cleaner, paper towels, scrapers, grain shovels, and more. Make your next stop Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. How did your planting season go this year? Are you looking to make improvements for next year instead of breaking the bank on a whole new planter? Get the best price of the year on upgrades for your planter from Agassiz Precision Ag this summer. Get $50 back per row per product for some of our best-selling solutions. Make the precision decision for your planter this summer. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com for more information.
Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes with you here on our halftime show on our City Hope scoreboard. Work and play in Hope, North Dakota, from job listings to housing options. Go to hopend.com. That's hopend.com. 36 love, here for Hankinson. Take a look at some of your out-of-town scores here from a nine-man perspective in the top five. New Rockford, Cheyenne, Maddock all over Cavalier in the first half. It's 36-0 Rockets in half number one. North Border in a tussle with North Prairie right now. Third quarter, it's 14-6 in favor of North Border. From there, Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion taking it to Hatton Northwood 44-14. Mohall, Lansford, Sherwood 14-0 over Ned Rose. That's a look at some of your scores from across the state. In Region 1, Wymer Lidgerwood leads by 8 with 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter. 8-0, Wymer Lidgerwood over the Enderlin Eagles. And South Border taking it to Richland a little bit right now with 4 minutes left to play in the first half. It's South Border 20, Richland 6. In 11A football, game that went final earlier tonight on yourliveevent.com. Bottineau made the long travel down to Lisbon. Bottineau comes away with a 28-6 win over the Lisbon Broncos. A good one brewing up in Edgeley. Ellendale-Edgeley Column 14, Harvey Wells County 6. After one half of play, Hillsboro Central Valley leads Grafton 21-8 at the half. How about this score? Valley City makes its way down from 2A to 1A. They are losing but by 8-0 against the defending state 8 champs, Velva Drake Enemus Garrison, with 4 minutes left to play in the third quarter. From there, Thompson all over Mayport CG 30-0 after one half of play. Dickinson, Trendy, and Bowman County tied at 6 apiece. Langdon area Munich all over Oaks 28-0 with about a minute left to play in half number 1. And Sargent County losing to Park River area. It's the Aggies 32, the Bulldogs 6. A year ago to the date, Sargent County was here to open up the season in 9-man football. Nathan Oots down on the sideline. Biggest takeaway from the opening first half of play was what, whether it's from a Hankinson or a Raider perspective here?
You know, Maple River really made Hankinson have to work for, I would say, about 70% of their plays in that first half. They broke a handful of them here in the last, 2.5 minutes. Were kind of owned by Hankinson, and that probably put the game out of reach. Just really impressed with, we talked about it late in the half, really impressed with what Hankinson has done is just, taking exactly what the Raider defense is giving them. Some plays it's been the deep ball, and other times it's just, hey, if first or second read isn't there, take off, make a play in space. I tell you what, though, if they can find that RPO they ran on that 2-point conversion to put them up 28-0, I believe, if that play in open space, not in a 3-yard situation, that play in open space could be terrifying for teams going down the stretch here for this season, because the opportunity for him to either run a sweep, hit a short pass underneath with his arm strength, going deep as well. I think that's something that I would assume they will build upon as the season goes on.
I would agree with you on that one. Taking a look ahead here for both of these teams, Maple River will be back in action a week from tonight on yourliveevent.com against Griggs Dakota. That game again will be on yourliveevent.com. Greg Grenz will have the call for you on that one. While for the Hankinson Pirates, they will host Richland. Always an interesting game when you get folks from Colfax and Hankinson together in a nice little Richland County rivalry there. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first half numbers when we return here in Hope.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Visit the new Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro. They have everything you need. Explore our large selection of quality hardware and building materials, perfect for every project. Inside, you'll find Valspar paint to brighten your home, top-of-the-line Milwaukee and DeWalt tools for every job, plus all the essentials for a successful harvest. Flashlights, glass cleaner, paper towels, scrapers, grain shovels, and more. Make your next stop Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
As we continue here on yourliveevent.com, let's take a look at what the Hankinson Pirates and the Maple River Raiders were able to put together here in this opening half of play. For Hankinson, 28 points in quarter number 2. They were able to put 8 points up in the first quarter. Maple River unable to get inside the red zone so far. They have passed the 50, but it's been tough in terms of turning out yards. For the Hankinson Pirates, 21 carries, 175 yards on the ground. Rayshon Earl has gone 7 of 12 for a $142 and a passing touchdown here today. For Hankinson, they have combined for 317 yards of total offense so far here for the Pirates, and Earl's done a lot of it. 162 yards on the ground and 142 yards through the air. Rayshon Earl, 12 carries, 162 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 of 85 yards. Hernandez, 6 carries so far here in the game for 13 yards, a touchdown. Cade Hentz with 3 carries, 6 yards, and a touchdown as well. Parker Falk, 9, make that 5 receptions for 115 yards. Hentz with a reception for 18 yards, and Ilga reception for 9 yards. Parker Falk also with a receiving touchdown. 5 penalties in the game, 1 turnover here for Hankinson. For the Maple River Raiders, 0 for 2 through the air for Bierke, and after the second possession, he has yet to even attempt another pass here for Maple River, as they did find some success on the ground with Dow's and Irie. Dow's 14 carries for 32, make that 36 yards. Irie 2 carries for 5 yards. Bierke 2 carries for -3, and then Warren 1 carry for 2 yards. Bierke again 0 for 2 through the air. 2 penalties for 23 yards and 1 turnover here for the Maple River Raiders. At the half again, it's the Hankinson Pirates up 36-0 over Maple River. Hoots, when you take a look at this one, let's go from a Maple River perspective. Obviously, the score is not what you want, but with games coming up that you have with Griggs Dakota from their Richland and Enderlin, all games when you came onto the season saying, hey, those might be contests where we can find a way to, stay in a game, find a way to come up with a W just to see what respectively those teams have in store. You never know what injuries might look like throughout the course of a season as well. But what is one thing that was a positive, I guess, you can take from a Raider perspective going into this second half?
I've said it many times. They made them work. I know 36-0 doesn't look pretty, but they did make them work on a lot of those drives. It was, they did a really good job of operating with that shell defense, whether it was cover 3 or, whatever they were running. Did a really nice job of keeping the ball in front of them. It's just a matter of keeping Rayshon inside of the numbers. They don't have to keep him inside the hashes. That's impossible. But keep him inside the numbers. Try to force cutbacks and not let him get to the sideline. The ends did a really nice job, I thought, about 3/4 of the time there in that first half. That is something that they can definitely build upon. They have good players at all 3 levels of the defense. There's not a ton of teams that can say that, but they have a really good defensive line. They got a couple good backers. Preston Dow's in a very impressive corner. They got something they can work at with every single level.
That is Nathan Hoots. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, second half action. That's next here in Hope.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley School Districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an ag loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC.
High school football here today on YourLiveEvent.com. A gorgeous night here in Hope, North Dakota for a little Friday night lights. Sometimes you get up here and, well, from yesterday, it would have been miserable. And I think that from the players' perspective, from us up in the press box, the humidity and 80 degrees, this kind of has that hint of fall feeling in the air as we get you ready for a Labor Day weekend as well. 9-man in 1A this weekend, 2A and 3A joins the party next weekend, then all roads lead to the Dakota Bowl coming up in mid-November. As putting this one on the tee for the Raiders will be Charlie McCullough, the sophomore here at the 40-yard line. Rayshon Earl stands back at the 15, as they got 12 minutes on the clock, and we begin this third quarter of play. Nice looking crowd, by the way, and also gotta love that little 4- and 5-year-old pigskin game going on in the west end zone. This one will be a live ball. It's an opportunity, and this one on the ground is picked up, an onside kick, and the Raiders look like they've retrieved it. Yes, they have. Maple River, Johnny on the spot, gets on the football. Preston Dowse.
The fake out by the official over there pointing the wrong direction was rough, because I swear they had two guys around it for the Raiders that should have come up with it.
Whether that was planned or not, that was executed perfectly, Hoots. You couldn't have done it any better if you're trying to catch anybody off in terms of surprise there, in terms of where the kick was on the sideline, got past the up man, and boom, it was fair game for the Raiders.
What do you have to lose, right? I mean, so what? You give them the ball at the 40-yard line. Who cares? They've scored on every possession anyway. You might as well give yourself an opportunity.
So Maple River will have their best starting field position of the game at the Pirates' 42-yard line. Prior to that was their own 40. Little trips. This one will be a quick little screen. That'll be incomplete. But to your point, if it's down the line, you want to make sure you see the incompletion or hear the whistle before you just give up on the play.
Yeah, always anticipate that it was thrown backwards. Refs have been known to make mistakes and not realize whether or not it's backwards or forwards.
If you're just watching this game, maybe new to high school football, if it's a 30-point game at the half, it is running time. So if, for example, Maple River can put one in the end zone, get the 2-point conversion, it would be back to normal business in terms of clock. But if they're unable to score, it will be, even on an incomplete pass, the clock will still continue to wind. I formation pitch play. This goes to Dowse. Dowse makes a cut, and Dowse will get tackled at about the 40-yard line for a gain of 2. One thing that Hankinson has done well for the most part here, Hoots, when you think Dowse is going to get to that edge, all of a sudden the DN or the outside linebacker, quote-unquote, as Matt Entz used to say at NDSU, keep the cup. You know, they make him have to put the foot in the ground and then say either you're going to try to beat us at the edge or take your 2-3 yards. And Dowse, for the most times tonight, has done the smart thing, which is get north to south and get some yards.
Yeah, and as soon as he realizes that that edge has been won by a Hankinson Pirate, he's been cutting it up. And, you know, it's been positive almost every time they've done it. But, you know, in 9-man football, if you hold a sweep to 2 yards, that's an absolute win.
Third down upcoming. 2 wide receivers, both left and right here for Maple River. Formation that we haven't seen much of tonight. Hankinson going to blitz, and they miss a man with Mauk, and now Bierke's going to spin, and he's going to get wrapped up at about the line there by Rayshawn Earl. Coming unevaded there was Mason Mauk, the senior. He was salivating for a sack, and nice job by Bierke, honestly, Hoots, to make a play that could have been a 5-yard, 10-yard loss to at least get back to about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and you like to see a young kid not panic and just sometimes you're about to get hit and you just throw it up. And you see a little bit of blue downfield and you just throw it in their general direction. Typically that ends up being a pick. Did a good job of just trying to get as much as he could. Took the sack, which is okay. You live to play another day.
2 wide receivers left and right, and we'll see if Hinks again comes on that linebacker blitz, because if he does, they're going to bring 3. Bierke has some time, steps up, fires, throws, incomplete. Not a bad ball by Bierke on that one, as he was looking for Dowse up the far sideline. Really the first chance that Bierke had a chance to step into one here for the sophomore, but it will be a turnover on downs.
The kid can really spin it. It's just, I think Coach Belke needed to see him throw a good ball there. You know, it wasn't completed, but it was the first one that didn't have some wobble to it. That was a confidence-building throw, even though it was incomplete, but you got to find little things to build on when you're a sophomore quarterback.
9:33 left to play here in this one. In the third quarter, ball at the 41-yard line. First time we'll see the Pirates offense here. Backup quarterback was Gabe Burnson. In terms of seeing a couple of guys, you know, throw the pigskin a little bit earlier today. Also, Gabe's lefty, so if he went out there, that would also make a little bit more of an interesting note. This one will be cut. Hernandez, good tackle there by the aforementioned Gabe Burnson, Johnny on cue, and I think why you're seeing Gabe maybe not play quarterback, Hoots, is not that.
He was an all-region lineman last year.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
I mean,
he can throw the ball, but you need him in different places for Maple River to be successful.
Right, and you know, I don't know what kind of a battle they had in camp. I'm not really sure. I know that there was decisions that they tried to make before the season started because you have so many precious amount of practices before your first game. But when you're an all-region lineman, you gotta continue to play that position because it's so important in football.
Second down upcoming here. Rayshawn Earl in the pistol. Hankinson well in control as we reach nearing the midway point of the third quarter. Hernandez And we're starting to see these creases open up a little bit more for Jacks right now. After he got a gain of 5, gets the first down here for a gain of 9.
You sure it's not a misprint on the roster? This kid's a freshman.
I had to double check twice, but his older brother was pretty good too, in Cruz Hernandez.
Yep.
Yes. Jacks, this one bounces to the outside. He gets wrapped up, taken down for about a 2-yard loss. And so far, we've been able to say a couple of times tonight, Ian Lark in a multitude of ways here for the sophomore.
Yeah, and sometimes defensive ends, you don't say their name all game long because they did a really, really good job. He's done a solid job. He's been chasing and running after Rayshawn all game long. For a sophomore playing in his first meaningful game as a defensive end, I think he's done a really nice job. Just kind of like Jen Zaire, a real good athlete. Just got to get him in the right spot to play, and I think they found it.
Hankinson, Rayshawn Earl's going to keep this one. Oh, look at the juke. Look at the miss. And Rayshawn Earl nearly had a house call. Earl will get it for about 14 yards. But Rayshawn Earl is now going to be on the football field right now and going to be attended to as well. You just hope that all that this is maybe just a cramp, as he's going to be helped off by his own team right now. And you just hope all that it is just a cramp in any way capacity, as the trainer will come on and to attend to Rayshawn regardless. 13 carries now for 176 yards, as Rayshawn Earl has amassed over 300 yards of total offense, 318 right now. And with game number 1 and where this particular score is, they're probably going to make sure that if he does come back, he's at 100%.
He doesn't seem like he's favoring too badly. I wonder
if it just, even though it's a maybe chillier night, just the
he's
first
immediately
game,
going down to get
maybe a cramp hoots.
Yeah, just kind of trying to watch the part of the field that you can't see, which is directly underneath you. And they are, stretching for cramps.
So now, all of a sudden here, speaking of backup quarterbacks, but here for the Hankinson Pirates is a backup quarterback, as Hintz will take this one up the middle after the handoff there by Parker Falk. So a gain of about 4 yards. What Hintz reminds me of is a Tyler Roll, Mike Allstott caliber kind of a player. And now we get another Hankinson Pirate down here, and we'll take a quick break with them. With 7:23 left to play in the third, Hankinson leads by 36.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
All of a sudden for Coach Jason Moneylaws, 2 guys in your starting lineup that had a bunch of playing time for you are now on the sidelines getting work done. It looks like cramps from our perspective again. Kate able to come up under his own power, similar to Rayshawn Earl, but all of a sudden now you got a couple new guys in the football game in terms of placements. Parker Falk here at the quarterback spot.
Might look like Damon Mauk here, the
now
freshman quarterback taking this snap.
So Damon Mauk, and he'll have Parker Falk and Jackson Hernandez next to him. He'll hand this one off to Parker Falk, who's able to spin his way to about the 26-yard line before he's wrapped up there by Trent Warren. It will be a gain of about 2 to 3 yards.
I was wondering at halftime, the last couple of minutes, their offensive coordinator was talking with Damon Mauk, number 7, extensively. I was wondering how much they were planning on playing Rayshawn here in the second half. When your offensive coordinator's having that long of a conversation with your backup quarterback, he's probably going to get a lot of snaps here.
2 wide receivers right-handed side, as this one will be to Damon Mauk yet again. Mauk going to keep it, looking, able to put that helmet down, driving to about the 23-yard line, and they're going to say it's a first down. From the far side of the field.
And that's, one thing talking to Coach Moneylaws before the game, he said, we are talented, but we are thin. And, just being able to preach to every single player that's on that sideline, you are one snap away from being in a major situation, a major spot. And this is maybe a little bit more comfortable for a backup quarterback, especially if you're a freshman, come in with a 36-0 lead, a little less pressure, probably going to hand the ball off a lot, but get your first couple of snaps.
Under 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Damon Mauk will keep this one. Mauk to the 20-yard line, hops over him, and it gets tackled down by Brennan Anderson, as that'll be for a gain of about 5 yards.
As the years go on, I feel like the Mauk and Hernandez show might feature a lot of downhill running as they come. These guys are they're not built like freshmen out there. They certainly fit the mold of what you want a high school football player to look like.
Keep it in the family as Hankinson Falk's brothers, Mauk's cousins. We'll test that later in the fourth quarter for those tuning in at home. 2 wide receivers right-handed side as we'll see this one. A little hard count, handoff. This will go to Parker Falk. Parker Falk trying to get by Gunnar Ilg at the tight end spot, and it's another 2 to 3 yards here to make it third down and very manageable.
Just keep the clock running. Make it as easy as possible, as comfortable as possible for your new quarterback.
And also, Hoots, from a defensive point of view, both Rayshon Earl and Hintz, if they're not going to play offense, obviously they play defense as well. So you're going to see some new faces probably here for the Pirates for the remainder defensively.
Absolutely. And you're probably to that point now that you might as well just let them rest.
Damon Mauk gets the 10-yard line. He'll have a first and goal situation here. Ball spotted at about the 7. It's a gain of 8, and this one now with 4:35 left to play in the third quarter.
I think that play sheet that looks like a Cheesecake Factory menu over there has been simplified significantly here in the second half. It looks like a lot of either power with the quarterback or power with the tailback.
I'm looking right underneath it. I see some red. I see some yellow. I see some green. Yes, cheesecake indeed. That would be cherry, strawberry, maybe some lime, key lime pie. That sounds good tonight.
Go for that.
Under 4 minutes about to play. This one, Damian Mauk, speed option play. They'll get it to the option. Parker Falk gets the edge, but there's a holding penalty. That's the first time that we've seen that option play that actually goes to the pitch man with how you run it, but just maybe got a little bit too much of a lane outside. That'll be a hold here on Hankinson.
Yeah, when you have multiple guys on defense fixing their shoulder pads because they've been pulled out from their jersey, you probably had the right call. It was a all-out tackle on this side. Good solid pitch. You always worry about your backup quarterback coming in and running the option and making a good pitch, but did a nice job of pitch relationship between him and his tailback, and just unfortunate it ended up being a hold on the lineman.
6 penalties now for 55 yards here for the Hankinson Pirates. Trips will be to the left-handed side of Ilg alongside both with Tyson and Parker Falk. Jax Hernandez to the left of Mauk. Here's a quick screen, goes to Parker Falk, caught it to 20. Parker Falk then jukes back to the 14. It's a gain of about 3. 6th catch of the game here for Parker Falk for 100. Let's add the 118 yards.
You know you're having a good night when you hear the announcer doing math live on television.
It's not school for me yet, Hoots. You've had a couple of days. This is my welcome back. This is my welcome back to school, so to speak. 2nd and goal, ball spotted at the 15-yard line. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the third. Another speed option. Mauk will keep it this time, and Mauk will get taken down at about the 12-yard line. Another flag comes in, and Hoots, it was back on your side of the field.
Yeah, it had to be a hold again. It was a pretty aggressive throw by the line judge on this side, so I would guess holding once again.
Well, that's an interesting part here, if you accept it or not. If you don't, it's a 3rd and goal at the 13. If you accept it, you move them back, obviously, 10 yards, but maybe not having a guy named Earl in the backfield
I think that, you
answers
probably
that
take the
question.
yardage. I think that answers Coach Belkey's question pretty simply, especially when the longest throw downfield has probably been about 3 yards into the flat with this the new situation they have.
Well, if you're Coach Moneylaw, something you're not liking on your stat sheet tonight, 7 penalties now for 65 yards.
Yep. I'm guessing that'll come up later.
2nd and a country mile here for the Hankinson Pirates. As Mauk looking, little mesh play. This one goes to Parker Falk, caught at the 20-yard line, and a really good tackle in open field by Jens Irie. You mesh, right? You're trying to maybe get a little rub screen. It's still a gain of 10 yards, but really good play defensively again by Irie.
Yeah, that mesh pattern, as you called it, works really, really well against man defense, and Hankinson knows they have, they're going against man when the defenders are walking up and declaring who they have. That makes it easy to clear out some space. Just try to essentially run rub routes with your 2 outside receivers and then clear out the inside guy.
So 3rd and goal at the far hash, 15-yard line it is here for the Pirates. Can they get another 10 to make it a little more manageable, or will they go for the end zone? Well, there's another yellow hanky on the play, as we'll see about Mauk get to the 4 yards here, and be another holding penalty. We'll see if Sean Belkey accepts or declines, and I think Coach Moneylaw is going to want a timeout. Nope, we'll get a quick break regardless, and it will be a timeout here for Hankinson. We'll break with them. 2:04 left to play here in the third on the City Hope scoreboard.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Oh, jeez. That's a lot of water.
No! Jeez Louise!
This system is packing 70-mile-per-hour winds, golf ball-sized hail, and a fast drop in temperature.
Oh, jeez.
Dave and Cheryl's kitchen started on fire.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez, let's take a look.
Oh, geez, moments happen. Be ready with Irie Insurance.
On the City of Hope scoreboard here, scoreless in the third so far between Hankinson and Maple River. But the Pirates are threatening here. 3rd and goal. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. Trips to the left-handed side. Mauk in the gun. Mauk has some time. Steps up, looks, fires. Post penner down the middle for Ilg. Incomplete. Tandem combination there of Trent Warren and also McCoy Bierke in on the coverage.
Yeah, good combination of good coverage there. Once again, multiple guys around the ball. Nobody's getting deep. That shell was intact throughout. It helps that you don't have to worry about the quarterback run quite as much, even though, he has proved thus far in his 6-7 snaps he's taken here that he can run the ball as well.
I like the throw there by Malkoots. Coming off the wrist there, that was a nice ball for the freshman.
Nice, absolutely.
So 4th and goal here for the Hankinson Pirates. 3 down linemen. Mauk fires, looking for Falk. This one incomplete. Be a turnover on downs as the Hankinson Pirates will have to give the ball back. And turnover on downs on the play here for Hankinson will allow Maple River to have their second possession of the second half.
Yeah, second pass in a row. You got to be pretty impressed with the way the ball comes out of his hands. He's certainly got a bright future. The way he runs the ball downhill, he's got a big frame that you would assume with the weight program down in Hankinson is just going to continue to get bigger. You're going to have to keep him off the line, though. Keep him with that strong arm he's got.
One positive here for a Pirate fan, over 7 minutes went off the clock on that particular drive. Yep. So, when you're up by 4 or 5 possessions, it's all about math again and possessions and trying to score. And you're minimizing what Maple River can do. Motion man, this one gets pitched to the outside. Here goes Trent Warren. Warren gets to about the 25 for a gain of 2.
A little bit of tempo here.
One thing under Coach Larry Fontana, it wasn't that they couldn't do it. They just never needed to do it at times in terms of what they were doing. So this would be something different for a Raiders perspective, Hoots, over the last couple of years where, again, year 4 of this program.
Yeah, I was up at the school late one night this week and ran into Coach Belke putting together the wristbands. That is one thing I don't miss at all.
Here's going to be a stretch play, goes to Dowse. Dowse gets to the 35-yard line. Good tackle here for the Pirates by Alex Jean, but not before Dowse gets to 34, a gain of 8 and a first down.
Nice little change of tempo, but to go back to that, the look in Coach Belke's eye, he was so excited to be able to get those things printed out. I was like, yeah, first couple of years I did that. I really enjoyed it, and then it got a little tedious. But you only got 19. I had some years where it was, more like 30-some guys that needed them, so it took a little bit more time.
Also 11-man, 9-man, that makes a little maybe bit of a change. Delayed handoff here on the draw, spinning his way, bouncing out of a tackler, getting to about the 40-yard line is Brennan Anderson. That was a hard-earned 7 yards, and that's how we'll end our third quarter of play. After 3 quarters on the City Hope scoreboard, it's Hankinson up by 36.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
Maple Valley School District is engaging students in a world-class education, preparing them for lifelong success. Maple Valley serves the surrounding communities of Buffalo, Fingal, Oriska, and Tower City with a grade student-to-teacher ratio per class. For more information, go online to myraiders.org. That's myraiders.org. The Maple Valley School District wishes the best to the Raiders coaches and athletes this season. Go Raiders!
High school football today here on YourLiveEvent.com. Chase Miller, Joey Hughes, Nathan Hoots down the sidelines. In 11A football, Ellendale Edgeley Column 14, Harvey Wells County 12. 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter. That could be a early postseason potential matchup between those two teams. I was talking with Tyler Eukstead from Northern Cass, and he said Harvey Wells County in our summer camp, they looked large. This one will go to the outside, in and out of the hands of Dow's. That'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, and there were plenty of yards to be had if that ball was caught there, so that'll be something that they'll be definitely looking at when they watch film. You know, just, hey, look it in. I think there might have been a little peek downfield to see what we had in front of them.
As we've seen that screenplay for both Hankinson and Maple River be called a couple of times so far here on this Friday evening. Ball will go to the near sideline here. 3rd down upcoming. They will need the 44.5 for a first down for the Raiders. Little blitz. This one goes to Dow's. Dow's gets to the 45 and some to the 50 into Pirate territory as he's taken out the 49 for a gain of 10 yards. In on the tackle is Camden Spinks, the junior.
Yeah, nice little gap there. Made a couple guys miss with a stiff arm, but starts up front, got a nice gap to attack, and then keep coming.
So again, with Earl and both with him and Hintz having some cramps in the third quarter, not in defensively as well. Also seen some other folks into the game here for Hankinson with Griffin Bull and Connor Malk, as this one will be stepped up and Bierke just lost it. I think as he was throwing there, Hoots, he got an offensive lineman pushed into him there with Kyle Palmer and just couldn't throw through on that motion.
Yeah, I was watching the routes develop downfield, and he had a guy open underneath. It looked like the wheel might have been there, and then all of a sudden the ball came out pretty poorly, so I'm assuming what you saw was correct. Otherwise, maybe just a little bit of a slip.
2nd and 10 here for the Maple River Raiders. Ball spotted at the Hankinson 49. Make sure you stay tuned with us on our post-game show. We'll hear from the victorious team, final stats, and give out our player of the game. That and more still to come. Dow's cuts to the 45, taken down right in front of us here at about the 44-yard line. Tackled by Cannon Falk, the freshman. And that'll be a gain of about 5 to 6 yards.
A couple things you're usually worried about at this time of the game and this time of the year. You're dealing with hordes of mosquitoes and a wet field because of the humidity, but this wind has done numbers on both of those. So it's a nice dry playing surface, so there shouldn't be any slipping, which is nice.
3rd down upcoming. They need the 39 for a first as Bierke stands in the pistol formation. Behind him is Anderson. Handoff goes to Anderson, and Anderson's going to get smothered for a 2-yard tackle for loss. Damon Mauk, Alex Jean, part of the tackling party there for the Pirates, and it's going to be 4th down.
Real good initial surge there by Hankinson's defensive linemen. They've just done, a number on the offensive line of the Raiders here throughout pretty much the entirety of this game. There's been some exceptions where, they've created some nice seams, but for the most part, the majority of snaps have been won by the team in white.
Jonah Thompson, the 6'4" senior, will line up to the near sideline here alongside with Trent Warren. You got twins to the right. They will need a healthy 8 yards for the first down. They fire throw. This is incomplete to Dow's at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a turnover on downs here for the Raiders.
I took a chance downfield for the first time in a little while. Just timing isn't great right now, and that's something that'll come. The more experience that he gets, be a little bit more patient, get that back foot in the ground, and really fire it down there. He's got the arm talent to pull it off.
Hankinson 2 years ago, 5-5, lost to New Rockford Cheyenne in the opening round of the playoffs. Last year, 7-3, beating Maple River in the opening round, losing to the Lobos in the second round, and they have the aspirations, as we talked about in our pregame show, to have a pretty nice season here this year for the Pirates. This one will be an inadvertent direct snap to a brand new running back into the game here for the Pirates in Camden Spinks. I don't think that was supposed to go to Spinks. Regardless, a halfback direct snap that goes for -5.
Yeah, you've seen plays where they direct snap it to the guy that's not directly behind the center, but the reaction when the ball hit him in the hands, it definitely was not the play design.
I don't mind the halfback direct, though,
Yeah.
Hoots. If you can have a center that can,
Directionally snap it.
do that well, it's another tool in your arsenal
Sure.
to use as an offense, right?
Yeah, I mean, we thought about doing it back when I coached, but we didn't really understand the advantage that you gained by snapping it there. But, I guess if you have a better athlete at the tailback position rather than the quarterback.
2nd and 15 upcoming as Mauk with the keeper right now, and he's going to keep it. Gets to the 40-yard line, now to the 45, at the hash to the 50, and he barrels his way to the 48-yard line. So a gain of about 10 yards on the play, under 8 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely a lot of power he runs with. It's not exactly the same style of quarterback that we saw for the first 2.5 quarters here. He's got his own set of skills, and certainly it's downhill running and not afraid of any type of contact.
The one thing, though, if you're a Pirate fan, right, you're going to go, what's going to happen after Earl in 2026? Tell you what, Damon Mauk is going to be a nice quarterback for Hankinson.
Have a nice little compliment.
I think so.
In Jax Hernandez.
As we'll see this here, 3rd down upcoming for the Pirates as it's getting a little chillier out there. Where's the campfire with s'mores? 3rd down upcoming, ball will need to get to the 45. There's a speed option play, pitch to the outside, and there's a missed tackle. Alex Jean gets the 40, and he gets decked. Jean gets the 1st down, then a flag comes out after the play. And on a situation like that, you wonder if it's helmet to helmet or maybe some extracurriculars. That was one of the hardest hits we've seen here tonight.
I don't know what I saw there, and I was right here.
We'll see what the White Hat has to say. Currently, it's about a gain of 8 yards. This will be personal foul here on the Maple River Raiders. So give Jean on the play. And taking a look for Hankinson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players have rushed the football tonight, Hoots.
Yeah, I called it a late hit. Not positive I saw the same thing, but, that's all right.
I will concur with your judgment as we see a 1st down upcoming. Ball at the 26. High snap, it's free. Someone's got to get on it, and doing a great job. There was the sophomore Gene just saying, you know what? Let's just get on it. Try not to make anything, too much of one way there, Hoots. And, yeah, you got 2nd down and a 1/4 of a mile coming up.
Yeah, they've proven they can, move the ball fairly well throughout the game. So just living to play another play is exactly what you should do.
As we'll see it here for the Hankinson Pirates with 6:30 left to play in the fourth quarter on our City of Hope scoreboard. Hankinson trips to the right-hand side. Mauk in the gun. Quick screen. This one goes to Gene off his hands. This will be incomplete.
Yeah, they've kind of shown either that mesh route they ran on the opposite side of the field. They've also shown that bubble. Early on when Rayshon was still in the game, they kind of swung that inside receiver on a wheel route. They've got a lot of combinations that they can run with that trips formation.
Also into the game is Weston Kluge, the sophomore offensive lineman here for the Hankinson Pirates. Also see Jacob Wallach, a freshman, into the game. So getting some younger faces here in the second half for Coach Moneylaws as well. Getting these varsity reps on a Friday night, getting them to understand what the situation kind of looks like. Once you get to this particular time, Mauk, speed option, fakes it, throws it. This one caught at the 30. Nice drawn up play there by Hankinson as they make the catch all the way to Cannon Falk.
I love that play design. That is great. We didn't even get to see that with Rayshon in the game. Imagine if you throw him in there with that speed as well. But, it's just essentially a play action, but it's a rollout play action with that pump fake and with the speed option and then hitting that tight end on that little corner out. That was really well done.
We'll take a quick break. We'll have the final minutes of the game when we return here on YourLiveEvent.com.
We always say we're a one-stop shop. North Star Ag is a full-service shoreline machinery dealership. So we have the 3 departments: sales, service, parts, fully staffed, have full inventory of all the parts and whole goods needed. We really value the service and the support that any traditional dealership would give you, but we specialize in shorelines. You can give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Mount comes back, shotgun. This one fired, incomplete. Looking for Gene Good, hit on the play by Jens Irie. And there's been maybe a handful of players in this one, as it'll be a turnover on downs here for the Hankinson Pirates. So far, 4 possessions combined in the second half, turnover on downs. But there's been a couple names here for the Maple River perspective, Hoots, and I think Jens Irie has probably opened up a lot of eyes here for the sophomore.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played really well. You know, him and Ian Lark, like we've talked about, athleticism kind of pops. You can see that getting the ball in their hands is probably something that they're going to look to try to do here as the season goes along. But defensively, they've probably been even more impressive.
Shotgun formation right now as they look to get everything situated here. As our officials taking a look and making sure everyone kind of gets the thumbs up that they're in their spot position. Oh, we got to get that on your bingo card on the season opener. Bjerke looking incomplete. As we were looking on the flat at the 25-yard line for Trent Warren. As into the coverage is Jacob Wallach. It'll make it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's something you'd like to see maybe develop. He's thrown the ball a lot better down the field than he has wide. I'm sure they'll see that on film. And, you know, Coach Belke said, you know, you're going to throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. I bet he's going to see that the downfield passing game is a lot better than the horizontal passing game thus far this game. And maybe that's something that McCoy feels more comfortable doing.
As 2nd and 10. And these are situations for both teams. You're addressing players. Can you put this guy maybe in a situation and give someone a little bit of a breather, even if it's one possession, and you feel comfortable having a number 2 being a number 1 at different times throughout the years? Also put your quarterback in different spots, looking for that first completion of the game, looking for that little quick screen on the outside. That'll be incomplete to Anderson. And right now, Bjerke is 0 for 8 through the air.
You know, something you can tell he's a little bit frustrated right now, but what I love to see is that there's a lot of hands that are hitting him on the shoulder pads, tapping him on the head, patting him on the butt, and just saying, hey, keep your head up. Don't worry about it. We're going to get better between now and next Friday.
Both teams back in action again next week. Hankinson will have their home opener against the Richland Colts, while Maple River will travel to Griggs Dakota. We'll have that for you on yourliveevent.com. Bjerke has some time. Good ball down the field. This one at the 50, batted away as they were looking for Dow's, and literally punching it with the right hand was the freshman, Mr. Nelson.
That was really good coverage. That ball was thrown almost exactly where you want it, but you can kind of just see when he's able to 3-step drop, hitch, and throw, or 5-step drop, hitch, and throw, the ball comes out of his hands really nicely, and I know he's going to be frustrated, but there's stuff that you can see that will translate positively down the line this year.
And going to Nelson, that was like a rock'em sock'em robot punch at the very end.
Perfect timing. As soon as you show hands and you're a DB, or as soon as the receiver shows hands, the DB is going to be punching through. That was, you know, he's obviously been well schooled, and that was very impressive.
Dow's will look to punt this one away. High snap over his head. Gets the 15-yard line. Dow's looking to punt this one off. Still does on the rugby-style kick to the 35 to the 40, and will take a roll to the 43. So Dow's a little magic man right there to get a punt of about 15 yards, and that could have been disastrous, and it does flip the field a little bit here with under 3 minutes to play.
Did a great job of not panicking. The snap was a little high. Wasn't able to quite corral it right away, but did a good job of picking up the ball, getting his eyes downfield, realizing, hey, if I get this ball off real quick, we have an opportunity to not lose 25 yards and maybe gain some yardage.
And with 2:49 left to play, just enough to where you need a first down to officially put the game away in terms of the time of what you have in between plays. This will be a handoff here as Gene past the 45, gets to about the 42-yard line before he's met up and stood up, and Anderson comes away with a tackle. Gene on the way here. Andrew Gene was an awfully good football player. Jason Moneylaws was saying his older brother, Alex, who we're seeing here. But Andrew, he goes, that's going to be something that we're going to have to try to find, because he was Mr. Reliable when you needed a catch. He came down with it last year. And I think Parker Folk has kind of made it maybe be that guy this season early on.
I think that's exactly right. But, man, he was impressive last year when they came to Hope here at the end of the year.
Second down, handoff. Gene again makes his way to about the 38-yard line for a gain of 3 to 4.
Getting a couple of the young guys in here, replacing some of the seniors who a well-deserved break here at the end of the game, rest up and get ready to go for next week.
Those are situations for both teams, no matter win or lose. Game number one, you're analyzing, you're seeing what's going to work, where can you put guys to have the most success on and off the football field. And in a situation like this, it's scoreless in the second half. That's the good news, but again, a 28-point second quarter has been the difference here in this game in the opener. For the Hankinson Pirates, Malk, handoff, Gene cuts at the 40, gets to about the 36-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down. If they get the first down here on this next play, it will be officially ball game. If not, Maple River will get at least one more play offensively.
Right, yeah, get the opportunity to see maybe a couple other guys get a snap or two on offense if you get a stop here. But I think they'll just look to run the ball straight downhill and force the Raiders to make a play short of the first down.
Aiden Hannig now into the game here for Maple River. Also able to see some new fresh faces as well. Logan Bender, a sophomore out there here for the Raiders. As for the Pirates, Malk, 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And the gun. He'll have a QB keeper, and he slides, and he'll be down as they were just going for a quarterback power play to the left-handed side, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
Opportunity to see maybe a backup quarterback, a couple offensive lineman changes.
As we'll have a timeout here for the Maple River Raiders. We'll keep it here on your liveevent.com. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, alongside Joey Hughes. Make sure you stay tuned with us on our post-game show. We'll get to our player of the game here in this one. Take a look at the final numbers, that and more. For Maple River, already the fourth year of this co-op. They will now go to 15-14 overall. But for 4 years, Hoots coming together, 2 playoff appearances. It's been really good and crazy to think it's already been 4 years now when it comes to football, 5 when it comes to volleyball and basketball here later on this season.
Yeah, it's 5 years ago, if you would have told me it had gone this well, I thought you were crazy. It's been I think it's been a tremendous opportunity for the student athletes. I was talking with Coach Fontaine before the game. Now our junior high coach, just said, where would we be as Hope Page without you guys? And I said, it's likewise. Where would we be without Hope Page? We wouldn't be anywhere. We'd be playing 6-man football. So the opportunities that this co-op has presented for these boys and the girls in the volleyball and basketball, both boys and girls, has been tremendous.
As we'll see some new faces into the game here for the Raiders after that timeout. Noah Olstead, the freshman at 5'5", will come on under center. A little wishbone formation here for the Raiders. This will be a handoff to the right-handed side as trying to make his way was Charlie McCullough. McCullough with a loss of about maybe a yard or 2 on the play here for the Raiders.
Run one more positive play here and get ready for next week.
With the loss, Maple River will open the season 0-1. Hankinson with the win will open the year 1-0. Also a region game. All games this year will count towards your postseason aspirations, where last year, half your games, 4 of them were non-region and the other 4 were region contests. So second down and 11, as this will be wrapped and tackled right on cue to finish the game off with a tackle there by Tyson Falk, and that'll do it here in this one. A final on the City Hope scoreboard in a game that goes 2 hours and 4 minutes here tonight in Hope. It's Hankinson 36, Maple River scoreless. We're back with our post-game show final numbers, play of the contest, and the gun and cannon has gone off here tonight in Hope. We're back with more after this.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Visit the new Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro. They have everything you need. Explore our large selection of quality hardware and building materials, perfect for every project. Inside, you'll find Valspar paint to brighten your home, top-of-the-line Milwaukee and DeWalt tools for every job, plus all the essentials for a successful harvest. Flashlights, glass cleaner, paper towels, scrapers, grain shovels, and more. Make your next stop Cywick Lumber and Hardware in Hillsboro.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. How did your planting season go this year? Are you looking to make improvements for next year instead of breaking the bank on a whole new planter? Get the best price of the year on upgrades for your planter from Agassiz Precision Ag this summer. Get $50 back per roll per product for some of our best-selling solutions. Make the precision decision for your planter this summer. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com for more information.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
Back here on our post-game show on yourliveevent.com, a final, the Hankinson Pirates pick up the win 36-love here today on yourliveevent.com. Let's get to our Agassiz Precision Ag play of the contest. Visit planterdoc.com. It's planterdoc.com. Agassiz Precision Ag in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119. I think the Rayshon Earl 85-yard rushing touchdown that made it at that time a 22-0 game with 5:12 left to play. It was a 3rd and 10 well back at the own 15-yard line, and Earl just sprung freight to the near sideline, Hoots, and took it 85 yards, showed the speed, showed his ability as a playmaker, but that kind of, to me, was almost the backbreaker, where if you get off the field there, it's a 4th and 10, you get the ball back at midfield, instead you look up and, oh crap, you're down by 3 scores.
Yeah, and they had done such a nice job up until that point, keeping Rayshon inside of the numbers, and then that one broke, and then it kind of, the seal was broke after that, and then things kind of went downhill.
That again is Nathan Hoots. As we go from there to our player of the game, go to Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Life takes energy as Hoots will make his way towards the Hankinson Pirate faithful here. And our players of the game, we're going to hear from them in a moment, making their way through with both Rayshon Earl and Parker Falk. Just a nice 2 tandem combination. Parker Falk would finish with 7 catches for 128 yards and a receiving touchdown. Earl went 7-12 for 142 yards with a score here today. Also 176 yards on the ground as well. So these 2 players are 1-2 players of the game, brought to you in part by Enbridge.com. Let's go down to the field as Nathan Hoots is standing by with a trio. Coach Moneyloss, Parker Falk, and Rayshon Earl. These interviews are brought to you in part by Dakota Heritage Bank. Take it away, Hoots.
Hey, thanks, Chase. Let's start with Rayshon. Just talk to me. You guys started 4-for-4 connection between you two. What is it that you're both seniors? What is it that makes you two click so well on the field?
We have good chemistry. We're spending a lot of time with each other and a lot of practice.
Absolutely. What do you do daily basis to build that chemistry between the two of you?
Practice. We usually throw around balls a lot. Get used to each other, and it's really fun playing with him.
Absolutely. All right. So we all see what Rayshon provides on the field, but tell me what he does Saturday through Thursday that makes him so special on Friday nights.
He's a supporter. He's a friend. It's really fun to hang out with him. Really funny guy, and he's just locked in 24/7.
All right. I'm going to ask your coach the exact same question here coming up, but what would you compare your expectations right now after week 1 to last year at the exact same time?
we want to make a deeper run in the playoffs this year than we did last year, and it starts in practice every day, making sure we're 100% focused and not taking any plays off, and we just got to keep going each play, every game.
You know, Coach is probably not going to want you to answer this question, but what are the expectations? What are the goals that he set on day one coming into this year?
He set big goals, high expectations. He wants us to clean up the sloppiness and just play football the way it's supposed to be played.
All right, so if there was one question mark that you guys had coming into this game that got answered in the last 48 minutes of play, what would that be?
You know, I would say our defense. You know, I feel like our offense is usually solid and our defense can be shaky at times, but I feel like today we did a really good job on defense and looking forward to keep it going in the next coming games.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to let you guys get out of the bugs. I'm going to talk to your coach. Congratulations, and we'll see you guys down the line. Coach, how you doing? Good. All right, so compare your expectations that you had after, you know, week one last year in this exact same situation. Obviously, you probably didn't play a region game in the first game last year, but your expectations compared to what you had last year.
Well, with what we have back, you know, we have 7 starters that played one way or both ways, and so with that talent or that experience, you know, one of the things I talked to the boys about is, you know, if we want to get out of the first round or the second round, we got to do something different. Okay, we have to play with more urgency. We have to play with more fire in the fire in the gut deal, because I felt like, you know, in practice, you know, we have to be going through our drills, or we have to, when we go tempo or whatever we're drilling, you know, you can't lollygag around, you know, and just tap the guy across from you and think everything's good. And so to reinforce this, you know, we're recording our one practice a week, and then we sit down with them, and it's and then show the film with our end zone camera, and you know, film doesn't lie. Yep. And so we always talk about what Lemoore does. You know, you watch Lemoore play, those kids are getting at it. Well, that's what I want. That's what I want for these kids, because they have expectations, and if they want those expectations, they got to play like that. You know, they say, well, play to the whistle. You know, you don't play to the whistle. What does that mean? You know, I tell my kids play to the whistle, and with that, we have to have that urgency up front, starting with the O-line.
Okay, pinpoint one thing that you are going to be stressing more often based on what happened tonight.
Oh, penalties. Good God. That was bad. That was really bad. I mean, how many yards did we have in the second half? I don't know if we had positive yard. I don't know what it was. It was bad. That was what I kind of talked about down there, and I also talked about the building blocks. You know, we came in here, and I was skeptical a little bit about how we were going to play because it's first game. But with the experience, I thought, well, maybe the first series will be a little rusty, or it'll be a little cloudy. And I just felt we didn't get ourselves going until about, I don't know, maybe the 8-minute mark or something, that things started to click a little bit. And then in the second quarter, it definitely clicked into where I thought we would be at in the first.
Yeah, so Rayshawn, when I asked him this question, I asked, you know, one question mark that was answered tonight. He responded with defense. What would you say from a coaching perspective?
Oh, well, obviously we got to work better up front. For me, I mean, we have to have our O-line firing from the first tick of that clock. That's one thing there that we need to work on. I think our defense is pretty solid. The new offense, you know, it's there, but it's not there. I kind of talked to you about that, you know, earlier with this. We're going to get there. We are. I mean, you could see what it can do tonight. And these kids are going to push themselves too, so that they got to get this thing here going. And I think once we figure this out, it's going to be pretty exciting. Yeah,
and late in the game, a little bit of cramping issues. You know, that's not something that you ever want to see as a coach. But it did give an opportunity from younger guys to get some reps. You got some talent there. Tell me what your seniors do to prepare them to do what they did, because it certainly looked like they were not the lights weren't too bright for them.
Well, yeah. Well, as you're referring, what you're referring to, the seniors?
Yeah, I'm asking, what do the seniors do to help these freshmen prepare for the situation they were put in at the end of the game?
Well, I don't know if they prepared them anything here today, but yeah, that practice, it's actually pretty good. You know, we don't have a lot of kids, and so we rely on our futures, our younger guys, to do a lot of work. And one of the biggest things, obviously, is in your scout defense. But we rotate these kids in like Damon. Damon's hungry, you know. And then Jacob Wallach. These two kids on scout offense and scout defense. It's like, you know, if you guys up front here, you're not doing your thing. We got two freshmen here that are chomping at the bit to play. So right there, you know, these freshmen are pushing these older kids too. And we told them that, hey, if you're not doing your job, we got two dudes here that are going to take in, you know, and do your job.
Okay, so it works both ways. I love to hear that. All right, congratulations on the win, Coach. Good luck next week, and we'll see you down the line.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, Jason Moneylaws with Nathan Hoots right there. You also heard from Parker Falk, and alongside with him and Mr. Rayshawn Earl. Again, those interviews brought to you in part by Dakota Heritage Bank. We're back after this with the stats in your Out-Town Scoreboard before we bid adieu here today in Hope.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Here's some leaders from earlier today in terms of the final stats for Hankinson. 168 yards through the air, 248, make that 244 through the ground, 412 yards of total offense. To Coach Moneylaw's point, though, 8 penalties for 75 yards, did have 1 turnover. Team stats for Maple River, 0 of 9 through the air, 27 carries for 72 yards here for the Raiders. They had 3 penalties for 38 yards and 1 turnover as well. Leading stat getter, Rayshawn Earl, 7 of 12 for $142 through the air and a touchdown. Earl also 13 carries for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Parker Falk, 7 catches, 128 and a score here for the Hankinson Pirates. Leading the way for Maple River, 18 carries, 62 yards for Dow's here today for the Maple River Raiders. Some other scores that have made their way and trickled on in. Again, 9-man and 1A this weekend. We have a game tomorrow coming up that'll be at 1 o'clock with Northern Cass and Ray Powers Lake. Then 2A and 3A get in action upcoming next week. Some scores in 9-man, New Rockford, Cheyenne, Maddock all over Cavalier, 58-8. That's a final. North Border over North Prairie, 20-6. That game has gone final as well. From there, Lemoore Litchfield Marion over Hatton Northwood, 56-28 late in the fourth quarter. Also late in the fourth quarter, South Border over Richland, 61-21. And MLS, number 5 rated team against Ned Rose, 48-12. That game has gone final. And how about this? In overtime, Enderlin and Weimar Lidgewood tied at 16 apiece between the Eagles and the Warbirds. 11A football, just some quick scores. 5 minutes left to play in the fourth. EEK 14, Harvey Wells County 12. Hillsborough Central Valley leads Grafton by 12. 10 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Valley City gets shut out in Velva. The Aggies 16, the Highliners 0. That game has gone final. Also gone final, Thompson all over Mayport CG, 42 rip. And number 3 rated Dickinson Trendy, 12-6 over Bowman County. Also going final, Langdon Area Munich over Oaks, 34-6. And Park River Area with a 38-6 win over Sargent County as the Bulldogs go back to 11-man football. Hooch, just your final thoughts from some of the scores that we saw from across the way at 9-man. I know you and I were talking about Enderlin and Weimar Lidgewood. That's a big game also for playoff-wise.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you're Enderlin and you can pick up the Warbirds, who traditionally are a playoff caliber team, a team that made the quarterfinals last year, all of a sudden that gives you a lot of life going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I got an opportunity. I was texting Calvin Kraft trying to figure out how he feels about their season this year, and he said, you know what, they were looking at this week, and then the next couple of weeks is really big to define whether or not they're going to be a playoff team. You know, I see them as that 4, 5, 6 kind of fighting right in there, and you get a win against Weimar Lidgewood, who I don't care how many guys they graduate. Stringy's going to have them ready to go no matter what. So, yeah, I'm trying to get updates here in overtime to try to figure out how it's going down in Hendrickson right now. It's always a fun place to be when they got a good football team.
Last thing, as he put it, again, it's just one game, but it is a game at the end of the day. What do you take forward from a Raider point perspective as you go to Griggs Dakota on your live event next week, and also from Hankinson, a rivalry game and your home opener with some new LED lights, mind you, down in Hankinson coming up a week from tonight?
Yeah, perspective from the Raiders first. It's something that I don't know what their expectations were going into the year. I'd like to be able to, chat with the coaches a little bit. They made them work really hard. I mean, 36-0 doesn't look terrible.
Yep.
Okay, but there's a couple of big plays that if those get reined in, we're looking at 22-0. We're looking at 14-0, something like that. I thought they played really, really well. Offensively, they have got to figure out something that they're going to be able to consistently hang their hat on and do a good job with. So that'll be interesting to figure out. Now, Hankinson, it's like you said, they're thin, they're talented. Stay healthy, figure out this hydration issue. Don't let those cramps sneak in a big game here coming up soon. They have a boatload of talent. All 3 levels of the defense is very, very impressive. Their team speed, and they have a game breaker at quarterback.
Hey, Hoots, as always, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward here in a couple weeks to be back at it again here in Hope with you for another edition of Raider Football on your live event.
Can't wait. Thanks, Chase.
That again is Nathan Hoots on behalf of Joey Hughes. I'm Chase Miller, repeating tonight's final on the City of Hope scoreboard. Hankinson 36, Maple River scoreless. Join us tomorrow at 1 in Hunter as Northern Cass opens up the year against Ray Powers Lake. Brady Siebels will be on the call for you on that one at 1 o'clock. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend and join us for more sports coming up next week here on your liveevent.com.